We're live?
What was that?
According to this, we are.
All right. Need the new link.
Oh my.
I wish I would have known. I would have brought a tablecloth.
I wish it was taller.
Wish was a baller.
Wish I had a girl who was taller.
I am impressed.
I wish I had a rabbit in a hat in the back.
Is that it, JR?
That's it.
All right.
Hello.
Ooh, jeez. A lot of booming. A lot of booming. A lot of booming.
Richard, I have absolutely zero headphones.
He's number. I don't know where he's going.
Okay, perfect.
Is that you?
Fine with me.
That was you?
It sounds like it.
Okay.
Sounds like it's
You're louder, right?
Feel like I am.
I want to see you talk for a second, Jairus.
Okay, Richard, how are you? How's everything? Does this look and feel okay to you?
Right.
I'm guessing. There's some audio happening over there. All right.
Yeah, seems so. Seems so.
So we're very.
Hello.
All right.
Oh, it did on purpose.
Still there.
Still there.
We're very technically live.
We are very
okay. So I guess we'll start.
All right. Hang on a sec.
Oh,
Whoa.
my God.
What happened there? Hang on a minute.
Okay.
I want to get this done
Well,
before.
just do it. You can do that while I do this.
Okay.
Dwight Egan.
Okay. I think I'm going to start with the. I think I'm going to start the thing. All right, Richard, how's that sound?
Yeah.
So, I guess here we are. I suppose here we are,
We are here.
live, literally, as it were, for the first time at Total Brewing Company. I mean, in the back bowels of the ship here. We've decided to throw our situation up on YouTube to do a YouTube live, just kind of as a test to see if this works. Welcome, everybody, to another edition, 2019 edition of the Fear of a Craft Beer, Planet Craft Beer podcast. My name is Jay Rose, and I'm technically hosting this situation. And as I said, we're here at Toma Brewing this afternoon, in the middle-ish, towards the end of January. We've got a lot happening. It's been a blur of a couple weeks. We had a lot going on. We have a lot of explaining to do, I think. A lot of things have happened. A lot of things haven't. We had some things. I had some things go on in my life that made it not possible to do the big 100th episode extravaganza, which I'm sure we'll get into.
Happy 100.
And if I start sobbing, I'm trapped in this room, so everyone can watch me sob into my beer on the actual YouTube. So, all that being said, yes, we are live. We're on YouTube. Ralph Warzik is putting out. He's feverishly typing away on his iPhone 2, sending a link out into the interverse.
It's like an iPod mini.
It's what it is. It's what it is. It's an iPod Touch that he's using.
How do people find us on YouTube?
Ralph Warzik. Well, I mean, I think you just type in Fear of a Craft Beer Planet.
Yeah.
And I think we have a channel, and there's like maybe 2 other videos, and I think this will save, and it'll be there. Look, we got a banner.
Yeah, we look official.
No, we don't. So Ralph Warzik is here, obviously doing whatever it is he's doing over there. Ryan Egan is here. Ryan Egan looks like he's sitting at the children's table at Thanksgiving dinner.
That's because you're sitting on my lawn furniture.
You brought in this lawn furniture, where I feel like I'm sitting on a peak of a mountain trying to do a podcast, and you've positioned yourself directly next to me, which makes you appear as though you are my son.
And I'm an elfin dwarf.
And at the other end of the table, he's kind of in the picture and kind of not. I might be able to fix that. But Ryan Egan, I'm trapped back here. Did you? I mean, I don't know who. I may forsake a little bit.
I like the fact that he slides in and out.
Yeah, I think I'll just turn it just a touch. I think you got it.
I think you got it.
How much do I have there now?
All right. Well,
I was happy having to go to.
Richard also looks like he's sitting. Well, you can still lean back, Richard. If you can lean back if you need to if you need to visit some greens. So yeah, whew, we are here. As I said, we have a lot of explaining to do. We had the holiday season came and went. We put out a bunch of content, as they say in this world. We put out a bunch of episodes there throughout December in the hopes of ending the year of 2018 on episode number 99. And that happened, and we achieved said goal. And then we got together shortly after the new year, and we came up with a plan for a 100th episode, which was supposed to be a big extravaganza with confetti and balloons and farm animals and beer and you name it. You name it. We had a whole jamboree planned. We were ready to rock and roll.
Hot air balloons.
We had hot air balloons. We had a ton of hot air. We had it all figured out.
We did.
We had some mystery guests that were going to pop on. It was going to be a high time, as it were, here at Tonewood. Sure, Rob Forzik showing me that. Sure, I don't know. Yeah, well, that's us. Yeah.
All right.
So that was all scheduled to happen. And then the week before that was supposed to go down, I experienced a lot of dark shit, as it were. I keep saying that. I've never said that in my life. It's like the third time I've said it. I had my mother-in-law ended up in the hospital, and she's now out, and it's still, whatever. She's a 72-year-old woman, kind of stubborn. I don't want to get into it. Everyone's very tight about everyone's privacy, so I'm not going to say a whole lot about that. But it was very hectic, and it was stressful, to say the very least.
You were juggling it.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting. So as that was going on, my wife was up in Northeast Philadelphia, attending all that while I was still trying to go to work and make things happen down here. My fucking dog died in the middle of all of that. Which was a goddamn nightmare. It was very quick. The old boy on a Friday, we were supposed to do the episode on the Monday of Martin Luther King Day, but Friday morning, the old boy went outside to go to the bathroom. He was having a hell of a struggle. And I realized pretty quickly that things he was doing things that he never normally does outside. I thought it was very odd. And I got a very uneasy feeling in my stomach. And I thought, woof, I'm in big trouble here. So I called my wife. I explained to her what was going on. And I did say to her, I said, I have a feeling we're in pretty bad shape here. She said, call the vet, make an appointment. So I did. They thought maybe there was a blockage, blah, blah, blah. I mean, he was 12. He was 12, but he was my right-hand man. But I took him to the vet. The vet did everything they could, I guess. Everything shy of, what did they said, ultra. They said, well, we're going to run these tests. They ran the tests, and then there was a lot of speculation. We should open a beer. I need a beer.
All right.
I'm talking about this. What are we going to open here? Rob's very busy. He's not. We're going to open this topic.
I am done. Everything
Right.
is officially out on the interwebs.
So I'm explaining what has gone on and why we didn't do the 100th episode. So it turns out it was a Friday. It was a Friday morning at about 8 a.m. We're drinking a Stone Tropic Thunder, by the way, which we'll get to in a second.
Yep.
Friday, 8 a.m., he was over at the vet. They ran some tests, and then they said, well, it's kind of, here's what we think is going on. But in order to get a better picture, you can take him over to XYZ vet, where he will have an extended hospital stay, and they will do a full body ultrasound on him, and we'll be able to find out exactly what it is. And I was like, he's 12, and he is not I'm not putting him through all of that.
Yeah.
So what was deduced very technically from what we can piece together without putting my 12-year-old fucking hero of an animal through all of that, was that his spleen was enlarged, and his spleen was encroaching upon his intestines, which made him think he had to shit, and he did not. Which was also, we can only gather from his blood work, because and no one cares, but I do. His white blood cells were through the roof, which means he was fucking battling an infection. Either way, you're right. It's whatever. So Friday morning, I saw something was not right. Saturday by 1 o'clock, he was gone, and I was in zero shape to do a fucking podcast on that following Monday.
No.
I don't know if that makes me fucking I don't know what. I don't know, but fuck everyone.
Kind, caring animal lover who's
Yeah.
pal just died.
He was my fucking right-hand man. And I couldn't come in here and tell dick jokes and be a fucking asshole on a microphone, which I'm still having a hard time doing.
Yeah.
With him not being around. So
Hey, Jay.
it's been a very
Yeah.
bizarre week.
Cock.
Yeah, I know. See, I don't even find it funny anymore.
I know.
I didn't really put it all together until me and you were going back and forth last weekend. And I actually remembered at one point, I was like, I forgot that we both got our dogs the same year.
Yeah.
So my guy's been gone for 2 years.
2 years.
But yeah, I forgot that you got Mr. Brown the same time I got my guy.
Yes. My guy, we called him Mr. Brown. He had a majestic name. He was C. Montgomery Whaler Brown.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember why we came up with C. Montgomery. I'm sure it was a hilarious drunken night. I don't even remember why or how that happened.
Is it a Simpsons reference?
It is.
Yes.
But I do remember when I got him, it was 2006. And I remember before getting him, for years, I would always, growing up with dogs in my house, my parents would name the dogs. That's what they do. Your parents name the dogs and your kid. And my parents didn't really go deep with names. So we had names like Bubba,
Right,
Buddy, Dusty, Bubba. These are the names.
I was really hoping you were going to say Carl.
Right. No, they with this still. It would have been either way. But
Keith.
so I always said to myself, if I ever end up with a dog, I would like to have a chocolate lab, and I'm going to name him Marley. That was always my thing. Enter 2006, I get a dog, and every fucking asshole on earth is running around grabbing up labs and naming them Marley because of that fucking movie.
Yep.
Right.
And I was like, well, I'm not doing that.
Where did that name come from for you? Like back in the day?
The reggae guy that sings songs.
Right, yeah.
That fucking guy.
Robert
Nesta Marley. Yes. So I was going to call my dog Marley, in 2000. If I ever get a dog, I'm far too irresponsible for a dog. But if for some reason I end up with a dog, that's what I'm going to name it. Turns out every other asshole on earth is Marley. Fuck off.
Wasn't that Trey's dog's name too?
Trey from Fish, yes. Trey's dog. Goddamn right it was. Maybe that's where I got it. Maybe I'm stealing off of him.
That son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch. I think you're right about that. So I sidestepped everybody, and I went with Whaler. And he was Brown, so I gave him the last name Brown.
Whaler Brown is a great name.
Yeah.
And he had and Bob Marley wrote a song called Mr. Brown. Right. So it all made sense to me.
To you, yes.
And he had like kind of a permed wave that went down his back that looked like James Brown's hair. So it all fit together. And I don't remember where the C. Montgomery came from, but
The C. Montgomery, Whaler Brown.
Whaler Brown. And the fact that he
Cheers.
we didn't do
Sorry
a
for
100th episode. Thanks, man. It's been a rough week. So, but we didn't get to do the 100th episode. And when that didn't happen, we had planned for a few weeks and had some people on the hook. I literally decided to crumple it up, put it in the toilet, and flush it.
The people were traveling.
We had some people come in. Whatever. We still may figure something out in the future. But then we realized, well, we're in a bit of a situation here. Because now we don't have a 100th episode. We've got other things.
A month and a half since we put
It's been a month and a half since we've done shit. We've got other things lined up in the pipeline for February and March. And we don't want the next episode we don't want them to feel pressure like, oh my God, we're on our 100th episode. I don't know that would even cause anybody
I don't think anybody really cares.
Well, no one cares. It's funny too. Speaking of no one cares, speaking of the proof in the pudding that no one cares is on Monday when we were supposed to do it. And I was sitting home in a dark room, just dying. Rob sends a text to the group thread. He's like, did anybody put on social media that we canceled the 100th episode? I said, absolutely not. And Rob's like, oh, I was confused. I thought maybe you did it. I just didn't answer. And then I thought about it. I said, it'll be interesting to see if anybody pops up on social media. Oh, guys, where are you? And as I predicted,
turns out
not a soul.
Not everyone knew that it was going to be the whole live extravaganza that we had planned.
Yeah,
we kind of.
Dude, to be honest,
teased that out a little bit. But
I
only really teased it like once or twice.
Right, and I don't think that it was like something that people were like foaming at the mouth. And oh my God, we gotta watch this.
And I wasn't even sure how. Like, what was I going to say? Due to unforeseen circumstances, we have enough unforeseen circumstances. We battled through 8 of them just to do this today. Look at this technology. Look, you see it. See where it says live with the red?
Yeah.
See the little box next to it?
Yeah.
That's the amount of time we've been on. See the little icon next to that?
Yeah.
It looks like 2 people. There's a human being actually watching this.
There's
and I
2
apologize for that. There's 2. Maybe there is 2. I apologize for whoever's watching.
No, I was saying.
Are your phones still linked in?
No.
Are you one of the 2?
No, I closed out.
So we have a real fan.
So someone's looking at it. I don't know who. I have no idea. There's evidently you can put a chat over there. I don't know how to do that. So
we need the computer closer.
We would need the computer.
We probably need I don't talk to
So I'm not worried about it.
USB,
So,
a USB cam and
whatever.
whatever.
This works. We're in a storage room at Tonewood. If you can see what the computer is sitting upon, it's all glassware. That's probably 5 foot of glassware around the whole other side of the room, and we have the computer. What is that piece of audio equipment that the computer's sitting on right now? Richard, do you have any idea what that is? That enormous thing?
Oh,
The thing the computer's actually
I'm
sitting
looking
on.
at it now.
What is that?
I guess a projector of some form.
I feel like that is a
No.
No.
No, I feel like
that's
that's
a
some.
receiver.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Receiver.
that's
Old
yeah.
school
What's it
receiver.
receiving?
That's an old school receiver.
That is old school there,
Receiving
man.
transmissions from Mars. I'm taking a picture of it because it's ridiculous. So, yes. So I'm cleaning up. I'm tying up that loose end and putting a bow on it. Lost my dog, my mother-in-law in the hospital. Lots of chaos, lots of shenanigans. Swirling chaos.
Yeah.
100th episode didn't happen as planned, so we have pieced this mess together, and that's where we currently are. Ryan, what can I do for you?
Your daughter came up,
She did.
and that is what has allowed us to do this. So I don't know. Do we make
Yeah,
a shout that
She unexpectedly came up from Baltimore. So she's
For reasons you've explained.
all of this shit. She was down there. I mean, imagine being she's a kid and she's down there in Baltimore, and her whole family's life is falling apart up here. So she just jumped in the car and came up here on
Awesome.
Wednesday.
Fantastic.
So she's been around and been a big help around the house and with the whole fucking
So this
situation.
whole thing, I mean, that allowed us to be here today.
She'll enjoy that shout out when you tell her about it.
Yeah.
So she was hurting cats basically.
Does your daughter not listen?
No one listens. Well, maybe it's back to zero. We bored someone. So that's it. So that's it, and that's all. Next on our agenda, not that we even have an agenda. I have a pen, but nothing to write upon, so I didn't come up with anything. Rob and I discussed that. Richard has Jesus for some reason. Rob and I discussed last night that now that the Stone Tropic of Thunder is now an official thing,
Yes.
that we would drink one of these now that this is a national release, right?
This is a national release. It's a new year round.
It's a fun beer.
5.8%. 6-pack, 12-ounce cans, totally crushable. And this
Cost
is
of retail?
about
Ish.
you probably find it on the shelf for about $10.99. A
$10.99.
6-pack.
Six pack.
So 5.8%.
All right.
We are using, if you remember from the episode when we had Jeremy on from Stone, we're using a new hop varietal in this called Cashmere,
Okay.
which kind of gives it. I'm not really sure what the specific things you get out of Cashmere, but if you remember when we were talking with him about it, you almost get like a very like lime citrus kind of floral characteristic on your palate with it.
Do the hops have a red dot on them?
That I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Just making sure.
Why would it have a red dot?
Well, because a buddy of mine bought a sweater for his girlfriend for Christmas.
Oh.
It was a cashmere sweater. And, he got it cheap because there was a red dot on it, and she actually found the red dot.
Oh, it comes back to Seinfeld.
Richard-
Sake, everything on the planet comes back to Seinfeld.
Richard started humming the Led Zeppelin song, and immediately I was in my head going, Cashmere! George talking to his boss, was I not supposed to do that? I got to tell you, I got to plead ignorance on this. Had someone told me
Yeah.
having sex with the cleaning lady on my desk was wrong, I wouldn't have done it.
Yep. But yeah,
we digress.
so yeah, using Cashmere in this, and also Citra and Mosaic, which are two of our, I think collectively, all of us gentlemen in the room are two of our favorites.
I would agree.
Yeah,
Right.
And most rooms.
Yes. So Citra, Mosaic, and Cashmere, Stone Tropic of Thunder Lager, now on the shelves. Go grab it.
So we talked about this when we had it before, and it was still in its infant stages before it was released.
Yep.
And we kind of dubbed it.
First look.
I believe, and my memory is in fact dog shit, and we've proved it 100 times today.
Mhm.
I believe we dubbed this a West Coast lager,
West Coast lager.
right?
We
That
did.
makes a lot
Right,
of
Richard?
sense.
That was what we called it. Yeah.
We-
No, I'm by we. I believe one of you.
But who knows? Yeah, well, I think
We did,
we said it
and
on the
that
show.
has-
I don't know if that
that
has any
has-
legs.
That has been how your boy
You?
has been out selling it.
Oh, very busy.
A West Coast.
I keep
lager.
telling everybody it's a West Coast lager.
I like it. I think that makes sense. I mean,
No.
because and we're on a craft beer podcast, so we're gonna do a little bit of a dive here.
Mm-hmm.
For years, I'm gonna say, what are we, 19? Let's go back to like 2015, 2014, when breweries started experimenting with lagers, but still kind of thought they were not as sexy as the IPAs or the stouts. So they started doing hoppy lagers, and that was a thing. And
Yep.
nobody gave a solid fucking shit.
Nope.
Zero. No one cared. They sat on the shelves. They went out of code. No one cared. What do
No, you're actually answering my question.
you
so
look
go
very.
ahead.
You're looking inquisitive.
What was the question?
Quizzing. You're confused.
Is anybody still experimenting with the hoppy lager? Premise?
So what has
There you
happened? What
Yeah.
happened
You're
was is the hoppy lagers sort of fell out of favor because they were all going out of code,
Yep.
and everybody kind of shrugged their shoulders and went, "Nah, all right, I guess that's kind of
Misunderstanding, lack of
kind of-
education.
yeah, that exactly. They're like, yeah, I guess that's that." And you kind of thought that would have been a thing. I guess it's not.
It's a delicious.
So we'd see a couple of them here and there come out, and
Yeah.
they weren't. You didn't get the fanfare that you would think you would get. So they just kind of were there. I think by not calling it a hoppy lager,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? They're nowhere on here to say hoppy lager. I mean, you have to kind of deduce that on your own. It says tropical lager. Now, I do believe that may cause a touch of confusion
I would
to
agree.
some people.
Yes.
When they think tropical, they're going to think that there's pineapple juice
Yep.
involved.
Yep.
But you know these assholes.
And I
You know
don't
what
really
we're dealing with.
get that. That's
It
one thing
doesn't
I've
taste
been.
like suntan lotion.
The one thing that I've
It
been.
tastes like suntan
Right.
lotion.
The one thing that I've been out kind of talking to people about too is the fact that I don't really kind of get any kind of tropical essence off of it.
No, I'm wondering where the name came from. Do we have any idea or why that it's called that? Is this a movie of some sort that I'm unaware of?
No, there is a movie, but
Tropic
it's
Thunder.
called Tropic
Tropic
Thunder.
Thunder.
Ah,
Oh,
there's no
there's no-
Tropic
there's
of
no
Thunder.
but
preposition.
there is I
Oh
sent
no. Oh yes.
I,
Right.
I sent the group thread a bunch of gifts. from
Yeah,
that
yeah,
movie, and
yeah.
You're not aware of that movie?
I'm sure I'm not.
It is
He
hysterical.
doesn't watch movies.
I know, but it's-
how many
this-
times you got
I-
told?
I haven't seen The Godfather. How would I see that? I just know the name of it.
It's a good point.
I don't think I've seen it.
Have you seen E.T.?
I saw that in the theater.
You were a kid.
My grandparents took me to the theater to see that.
Did you cry at the end?
You know where I saw it? This is going to get super local. This will get super local.
Ritz Theater.
No, dude. So I mean, this is only for us because this is as
I
local
think I
as it
know.
gets. Route 70, Cherry Hill. You know that you know that you're not going to believe this, Richard. You know that pet store on Route 70 in Cherry Hill, the big pet store, like the standalone pet store in Cherry Hill.
No.
Yes.
you do on 70. If you're
Down
headed,
by Covered Bridge.
Down by Covered Bridge. If you're
Yeah,
headed
okay.
into Marlton
Okay.
All
on the
right.
right side,
Yes.
that used to be a movie theater.
Did it?
I saw E.T. and Popeye in that theater.
Popeye.
Yes, sir.
How the hell you see
Robin
Popeye
Williams
and you didn't
in one
see
of
the
the worst
Godfather?
theaters.
Jesus
I saw both.
Christ.
I saw both in that theater, which is now on a second. It's a second generation of a pet store. But it used to be a theater. That's where I saw.
You're right.
That's where my grandparents used to take me to the movies back in the day. That's where I saw it.
This
Wow.
beer here, it's a stone beer through and through. Like it's
Yeah.
The hops are there. It's
Oh.
not hiding behind. There's nothing
Yeah.
subtle. You know, and not that stone can't be subtle too, but there's nothing really subtle about this beer.
I also think this would be a good put it in somebody's hands who's not necessarily a craft beer person and go,
I agree.
oh no, you don't hate craft beer. Don't drink this. It's a lager, and they'll go, oh, you know,
I
Yeah,
agree.
The body is there. It has
Right.
it has the roundness of a lager and not necessarily the sharpness of an IPA, if that even makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because in my head, when I taste a lager or have a lager, kind of a mouthfeel of a lager, I feel like a kind of soft, rounded, an IPA always, to me, has kind of an edge to it.
I would agree. I would agree.
But I do like how this drinks. This is very nice. This is very nice. I'm excited to drink this in the summer.
Uh-huh.
This is the second year in a row Stone has come out with a beer in the winter that I go, I wish this came out in the summer, but it'll be around in the summer.
It's here all year. That's the thing I'm excited about.
Oh, it's
is be able to
year-round.
drink it
It'll
all
be
year
year-round.
round.
Yeah, it's a year round,
Nice.
which
Yeah.
is fun. Which is fun. So yes, the Stone, the Tropic of Thunder West Coast Lager. God damn it!
Yep.
Why not? Yeah, you heard it here first. We invented that.
Yeah.
did.
you did, Richard.
But
You
we
invented
did. We tasted it before anybody in the country had it.
First look, yeah.
Yeah.
it.
Oh, wait,
It was
I'm sorry.
delicious.
That is fantastic.
First look.
Thanks, Richard.
There it is.
Thanks, brother.
It's still there.
Nice touch.
Nice touch.
Nice touch. That's what she said.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of,
No, I'm not kidding. I don't want to hear any more about his.
You mean about the blue bag?
I don't want to hear any more about his
You-
girl situation.
I will, but I just wanted to know. You asked about the blue bag.
What's
and
that blue bag?
Not the one on the left, the one on the right.
Okay.
The
that
small-
nobody can see, but
no, but us, yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Okay.
Well, you asked, remember the blue bag? You said, "Oh, where's the blue bag?"
Is that the old school blue bag?
That's the old school blue bag.
disgusting.
Yeah, it is.
That is scandalous.
I have your headphones in there.
No, you don't. My headphones go home with
just
me.
Rob's.
Oh, great. Why? What is the blue bag?
Richard used to hide his arsenal of toys in there.
What, the toys he used to have?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus
You're
Christ.
fine. You're fine. Oh, jeez. Why are you getting up?
I was going to show it to the camera.
No one cares.
No one cares.
Just imagine
The only person
It
that
is a
cares
blue
right
bag.
now is me because I'm
Imagine
wearing the fucking headphones that came out.
Imagine a jizz stained blue bag.
Jesus.
You just
All
want to slide
right.
under your ears so easy now?
Oh, the stories.
That got
The
awkward
stories
fast.
the stories that awkwardly just came into my
No.
mind. Thinking about what was in that blue bag. Remember when we lived in the city?
I do. How could I forget?
Jesus
How could I
Christ.
forget?
Ah,
Disgusting.
ah.
Like National Geographic in the room next to me.
All
every
right,
night.
let's press on. I want to really get this out of my head.
So I want
Get it off your head.
Yeah,
literally,
exactly.
since we started doing this podcast, I have had a beer that I've wanted to drink on the podcast, and I thought that because of my animal no longer being with me, I would open a 10-year-old beer today. And I was-
10-year-old beer for our 100th episode.
I was
Is it in this
hoping
room or is it in the
it's right in front of me. I was hoping
Oh,
that
there
you
it is.
boys, Richard, are you paying attention to me? Because
I'm firing
right
away
up your
over
alley.
here.
Somebody's watching.
someone's watching.
Someone's watching.
Holy
Everyone
mackerel.
say hello
Wow.
to Darren.
Hey man.
Hey, Darren.
Oh shit! I got a bunch of message too. Oh shit!
Darren was in that band. I was in Alan Smith.
I got nothing. Nobody loves me.
I got emailed. I got emailed a grocery
in the band.
Oh, you get the grocery
in
list.
what
There you go.
He was. I mean, I guess it was his band technically. He started. Oh, guitar player, singer. Yeah.
Richard, you have a lighter on you?
Yes.
Can I see it?
It's.
Oh, I got a bottle opener.
it's
there.
a-
No, Rob Force gives a bottle opener like a gentleman.
Where's my keys?
So I don't know if anyone remembers back in the day.
No.
I may wax poetically about this beer.
Oh,
Okay.
Otter Creek, Vermont.
Otter Creek. This is from their Imperial series. So I'm gonna tell a little bit of a story about this beer. So this beer this is called the Quercus Vitus Humulus.
I believe I had this beer many years ago.
Well,
when
when I was at the store back in 2010, we had
Yeah.
this on tap a couple times.
I
We were one of
believe
the
you're
only
right.
places to have
Yeah.
it on tap.
Yep.
This was a very innovative beer for the time, and this was Otter Creek, and they were trying to change their image a little bit, and they're trying to do more. Back then, it would have been considered extreme things. Oh God, why can't I think of the? Oh my Lord, I can't think of the guy's name. Oh God, who was the brewmaster at Otter Creek?
I don't know.
Shit,
I know Rob Todd worked there.
I know. Rob's not worked there. Oh my goodness gracious.
Can we lifeline Rob Todd right now?
Because Rob Todd on a Saturday afternoon. is
Richard,
waiting
don't
by the
choke on your
phone.
Cheez-Its.
Jesus. Well, either way. So what ended up happening is the brewmaster from Dogfish ended up going up to Otter Creek and working there for a while. And this is one
Not
of the
Brian Sellers.
no
Davy Jones.
Selders.
Selders. No, was it?
He went
I
to the
don't remember.
Midwest and then he came
Right.
back.
I forget.
He's
who
doing
it
R&B for them
was.
now.
Michael
God
Jackson?
damn it, I can't remember the guy's name.
Paul
I'm the
Simon?
worst. No. But either way, he showed up at Otter Creek and he decided they let him kind of make an extreme beer. He's the guy that on their labels. I'm crossing on my wires. Either way,
Man, you really fucked this up.
I did. My brain is really foggy. I'll remember it as we move forward.
I love that for all the planning that kind of went into the 100th episode that was supposed to be. This is what we've landed on.
Sounds about right.
Well, I don't think there was any.
Well, let me read what's going on here.
All
first
right, go
before
ahead.
I pass this
All
down the line. This is right up Richard's alley.
Continue.
So this is from 2009. They put out an Imperial Stout. And they put out this Quercus Vitus Humulus, and this is a French oak aged ale brewed with French grape juice, fermented with champagne yeast.
Mother of God.
Right.
Mhm.
Two row malts, wheat, Vienna, Crystal, Munich, aromatic hops, UK Goldings, and stress plant. French grape juice concentrate, French oak, 12% alcohol by volume. So there wasn't a whole lot of this to go around, and I had a bottle of it, and I tucked it away for a special occasion. And it's been sitting in my
For a
fridge
decade.
pretty much. It's been sitting in my, well, I've had it in and out. This has been sitting in my fridge since we started the podcast because I wanted to drink this on like one of the first episodes and we never did. So constantly when I'm rearranging my beer fridge, I'm pulling this goddamn bottle out. And there
It's
it
kind
is.
of like that Unibrew
Yeah.
bottle that I pulled out on the holiday extravaganza.
You were like, fuck it.
This really, this smells like a barley wine to me.
Let's see
I
what
was
we
gonna.
got.
There, There was no description of the base beer.
No, it didn't really give a
Does it
description.
say ABV?
ABV is 12, or it might be 13. It's not.
That's a
Richard,
barley
you
wine.
don't have to whisper.
Well, you were talking. I was trying not to be that guy.
That's probably a barley wine.
But it's a
It
10-year-old beer.
smells like a barley wine.
It
To be
smells like
completely
barley
honest.
wine. It's a 10-year-old beer.
It's a beautiful color.
That smells.
I will say, gentlemen.
Oh,
there it is. First time. Much as I
First
love
time
it.
in 2019.
100!
I will say this.
Um,
I'll tell you this.
this is. I'm running out. I'm running out of these near and dear to my heart decade-old bottles. Now that we've been doing this podcast,
That's okay.
I'm down to
we,
like maybe
we can
3.
add more and wait on
Yeah.
it. So
I'm down to like maybe 3.
I got a few.
I can't believe I can't remember the guy's name that made this. It was such a great story. He left Dogfish to go up and take care of his parents because they were ill and they lived in Vermont and he needed a job. So he went to Otter Creek and he asked them, "Hey, do you guys need a job?" And they're like, "Holy shit, you're the guy from Dogfish." Absolutely.
Yeah.
So he showed up and
you've talked about him before. I'm sorry, I don't remember his name either.
I don't remember his
I
name.
can't think
I'm
of
the
it.
worst. I really am the worst.
I'm the worst too because I usually remember. all
And
that
dude,
for
it was there was that whole span of time where Otter Creek's marketing was his picture with his Bernese Mountain Dog.
Mhm.
Remember, like 3 years ago, and now he is the assistant head brewer at Hill Farmstead.
Is he really?
Yeah, he left Otter Creek.
Wow.
What the fuck was his name? God, I'm the worst. So have we sipped this? Richard, did you take a sip of this?
Oh my god.
This is right up your
Really-
alley, bro.
Yes, really good.
This to me, like when we first started doing this, I was very excited to bring this to show you because you were still not at all. You had no knowledge. Not that you do now, but you had way less knowledge than you do now.
So describe the nose. Describe the try to get in there.
It actually smells like brandy to me.
It
I'll
does.
give
It
you
really
that.
has that
I'll
kind of
give that.
that brandy smell,
Definitely.
and even it smells like it's going to be hot.
Burnt
It
sugar,
smells boozy.
burnt sugar,
Yeah,
coffee.
right.
When you take an orange peel, the zest of the orange peel,
Yeah.
and you light it on fire,
Right.
like if you
Right.
strike the oils with flame,
I had a cocktail with
There's
that
that.
last night,
yeah, they're
or
very
2
good.
nights ago.
But that's in there too. And I totally get exactly what you're saying with the brandy.
Man, I'm wondering if that has to do
Those
with
would be-
this was a capped, not cork and caged, and it has been around for 10 years. So there's a solid chance that there might be some it might have had some oxidization.
But that's happening in the nose. I'm not getting it in the taste at all. Like it's not boozy at all.
It was
Taste.
so funny. What did I say something wrong?
No, no.
What's the matter?
It's
They're having a side eye.
Oh,
we
are
got
they?
a side.
We did.
We had a
We had-
side.
we-
We had a side.
All right. Well, I guess they're doing their own show, Richard.
Yeah, we are.
Sorry,
Hey, you actually just reminded me of something, Jr.
I
Circling
got an
back,
oxidized beer.
maybe something that we should bring
You said-
up.
Is it oxidized?
No, you said it might be.
Is it?
I'm
No.
saying I have one.
Oh, you do.
Yeah, but isn't
No.
I mean, you ate French wine. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I
No,
mean,
go ahead.
do you want to do that discussion?
Go ahead.
That's wines do that too. That's part of the
Jesus
aging of
Christ.
a wine process, right?
Yeah.
That's a cork in there. They don't go crazy and wax it and all that stuff.
Right.
They're expecting over time
But they have,
some of
but
that's
they-
going to happen.
But they have a
And
core.
that's
I
why
guess
a
so.
lot of wines are going to start switching to screw tops. Did you see that?
Yeah, a lot of
That-
wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So think about that. The whole, I mean, we're not a wine show, but I mean, the whole how wines will age is going to change.
Yeah,
This is delicious.
totally.
Describe the taste now, Richard.
I'm good. While Richard figures that out, I'm going to read. There's actually a description on the
Please
side. It's our
What are
brewer.
you-
It's our
what are you
brewer.
catching?
It's our brewer's tribute to the mighty oak, luscious grape, and humble hop. Our homage begins with a bold 27-degree Plato barley wine ale. There we go. Warm fermented with Bohemian lager yeast, which we
I was
then
gonna say,
blend.
there's no way champagne yeast alone gets
Right.
12%.
No way. Which we then blended with French grape juice and fermented a second time with a pure culture of champagne yeast. When our brewers thought this intricate brew was complete, they aged it on lightly toasted French oak.
Hmm.
The 6-week journey through our brewery resulted in a deeply complex ale. We hope you enjoy it as much as we enjoyed brewing it. Cheers.
So they
Bottled by
actually
Otter
didn't
Creek.
use wine. They used the juice before it was fermented.
Yes.
It
Correct.
seems that way. 'Cause
However,
it even
it's-
says
Once it goes in, it's going to ferment.
correct.
Right.
Well, right. But
And
they
that's-
wanted to control. I'm guessing they wanted to control
How
their own-
much?
how they fermented wine. Right. Rather than
And
getting
then-
wine that was already
The
there.
mixture.
I'm actually shocked how much the oak is still really present on it.
I get it too.
Very
Yeah.
much present.
Because
Yeah.
we've had other
It has-
beers that are 4 years old
Right.
Yeah,
and they've lost the oak.
exactly. Me too.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely a lot of oak.
Caramel?
presence. Getting some caramel on it. Yeah.
Caramel. I got a touch, a faint, a vanilla hue.
there
Yeah,
was
like a
this-
nice
Everything.
A vanilla hue.
I would say everything has that.
How is that possible? What the fuck is that?
It's another side-eye moment,
I was
Rob.
doing Seinfeld reference. I like a
A
hue.
vanilla hue.
I've never said.
All right.
We can add hue to our lexicon.
Totally. Sure.
It's good though. I'm
You know, if you
not
use
yeah,
it
yeah,
correctly.
That's the first episode in 2019.
You
We're
know
getting
what?
back. We're getting back in
Yeah.
business here.
This
I
does
think
feel
the
like
oak
that
is
was
really prominent.
I agree.
Not necessarily not gone in any sense.
Would you say that it's relevant?
It's prevalent, very, very prevalent.
You know what is not relevant?
Any hop whatsoever, which wouldn't matter if it's barley wine, I guess.
The hops to me have fallen off,
Oh,
and
totally.
there's barely any carbonation whatsoever.
No,
Yeah,
it's
no
not
carbonation.
carbonation at all.
I get.
One
I'm
thing,
not
uh,
kidding you. There's a tartness, sweetness factor that it almost tastes like, and I know this is a weird pull, but I'm getting the taste of a Smartie candy. I guess you know which one I'm talking
Yeah.
about. The little
Yeah,
clear
sure.
plastic wrapper.
I
That
had one in 1,000 years.
Right.
But-
well, he's got like tiny children, so I'm sure he's had one like today.
Right.
not today, but recently.
I
yes.
don't know that I don't know Reining, and I don't know that I can co-sign that because I'm not picking that one out.
By the
I'm
way,
not picking that one out either.
what's
I'm getting
the
that.
what was
I'm
the
definitely
ABV?
getting the
12?
caramel though.
You get the caramel.
12, yeah.
You're getting like a tart, sweet combo
No.
thing that's happening there. That's what I'm kind of calling
I'm
Smartie,
gonna-
but I may be wrong on the candy pull, but
I'm
There's
going to
something
throw this
weird.
out there where I don't think it's boozy. I think there's almost a peppery note. There's like something that's like, you know what I mean? When I say something's boozy, it almost has that alcohol burn.
Yes.
I don't have that, but I have a one weird sharper flavor that kind of reminds me of
Continue
almost
sharp
like a-
flavor.
Okay.
like a black pepper or something.
Szechuan pepper.
Ooh.
Ooh, here you
It's not hot, but
That's part of our lexicon too. Why do we just have to be black or white? Let's add all the peppers.
Szechuan.
Black
well,
pepper
white pepper wouldn't have that. It would be much more subtle.
Well,
Hey,
I'm glad I
no,
got to
white pepper's
experience
actually
this beer with
sharper.
you fucking
I
assholes.
think it's delicious.
I love it.
Rob Forzik has been dying to say something for 10 minutes, and we keep stepping on
Oh,
him.
I'm sorry.
I was just good. No, the
It's
only
not
thing I
you.
was going to say, since we're kind of talking about this
okay.
and bringing it all up, and I mentioned about that Unibrew beer that we opened.
Yeah.
We did finally get the info on that, and I wanted to put it out on social media, and I never did. So I was just thinking I would read it real
When
fast.
did
As
we
far
open
as
that?
it was on the holiday extravaganza.
right.
And we didn't know what it was.
We didn't
And I
know what
sent
it
a
was.
text, and the text was answered
So we
3 days
did
later, yes.
finally get an answer on that from
Right.
Bernard.
Oh.
that, it was a
Cold outside that day.
17 GR, aged 5 months in rum cognac barrels.
GR. What the hell is GR?
I don't know. That's what he put. That's what you put back to me.
I
Look,
did.
17 GR,
I don't know.
aged 5 months in rum cognac barrels, bottled in May of 2014. Now, the one thing I thought was very interesting was that it was aged in cognac, because if you remember, Richard, of all people, said
Yes.
that he felt that there was some brandy characteristics going on there.
Yeah.
So I thought that was, the old boy's learning a few things.
Or he's got deep pockets of buying brandy.
I don't think he's got that.
Deep something.
I don't think he's got either.
Christ. Well, I really can't believe
This is
that
nice.
I really can't believe that this beer is actually finally gone, because
I can't believe it's
that my
held up.
fucking dog's gone. I can't believe that this
Um,
beer's gone.
So Rob from Jersey Beer Guys and a Girl was watching.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, DC Nick's on too.
He just yelled at me to get off my phone.
Well, that's odd. Isn't he talking to you?
He stood sent me the text.
Well,
Rob,
why
how
don't
do you
you
think he's
stay on? Why don't
communicating?
you stay on that phone
Yeah.
and ask him if he's watching still? I don't know why on earth he would be. Ask him how it sounds.
Does it
sonically.
sound like
Does it
it's
sound like
coming?
it's coming through
He does
the
a lot of
mics?
recording.
Or does it sound like it's coming through that external microphone, which it shouldn't, because I turned that thing off on that machine?
That's a good question.
We're going to sit and wait for you to answer.
I sent
We're
the
not-
text.
not
How
that
does it
patient.
sound?
We're gonna go dead air. from here
No,
on.
please don't. I hate that. I still listen to every episode, even though I'm on the
It's your
episode.
fault.
I know it is. But I drive around lonely and depressed.
Glad we can help you with that.
Yeah, I think you know that I love podcasts. I listen to
Yeah.
podcasts, and
Yeah,
and
we
I'm in a lull right now. I think everyone took January off. All
Yeah,
of my
dude.
shows took January off.
I think
Yeah.
not just shows. I mean, like the world. I feel like because the holidays came, the cold weather hit like a ton of bricks,
Like a ton of bricks,
and everybody
man.
just slowed down to a third speed.
I mean,
Yeah.
Malcolm Gladwell's from Canada. He can't work in the cold.
Oh,
that's a good
I
point.
love Malcolm Gladwell.
I hear
If
you.
you're listening, Malcolm,
yeah.
I've read all your books.
Which
Keep writing them.
which one?
And revisionist history is one of my favorites.
What's
But
the other music one?
the
that's
music
really
one
good?
is called Broken Record.
Yeah, it's fucking
And I
awesome.
love it.
It's fucking great.
It's so good. And then so
Ooh,
that's on a hiatus.
13%.
That's on a hiatus right now.
It's on a hiatus.
Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of.
We
You
are
know-
familiar with hiatus.
You
I'm
know-
actually, I'm
You know
gonna
who's pumping
go ahead.
stuff out?
I'll let Ethan finish, and then I got
You
something.
tell me.
Pete Holmes
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, do I love Peter?
pumping stuff out on You Made It Weird.
And his show
You
just came
said
out,
that.
Crashing,
Crashing,
which is
season
so
3
funny.
just showed up
I
on
just-
on HBO.
Yeah, I just watched the first one.
Oh, did it? Yeah, it just
yeah,
started.
season. I
Okay.
looked at it this morning and I was like, oh great, I've got
Could-
season 3 to watch.
Can
I
I,
love
can we
how
put that
Ryan-
out in the universe? We want Pete Holmes.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Hell yeah, that'd be
Does
great.
he drink beer? I wonder.
He does.
He does.
Did you
does-
find
he
that
does a
out,
lot
Ethan?
of
I know we
things.
were going back
Yeah,
and
I know he
forth
does
on
a
that.
lot of things.
No, he does a lot of
He's a
things.
different
He
human
enjoys,
than he
he
was.
enjoys the mushrooms.
I've
and
heard him on
he
Duncan
smokes
Trussell.
the
He
weed.
enjoys the
I've heard
mushrooms.
we
Yes,
talk
he does.
about-
He has a proclivity for
We can talk about
enjoying
microdosing.
himself, and he doesn't want to like put that out there into like a lot, but he doesn't shy away from talking about
Right.
it either. So
Right.
Okay.
I think
yeah.
that he absolutely would, if we were to coordinate in some weird way with Pete Holmes to figure out what beers we're going to drink together, even though we're probably not going to be in his presence because he lives in LA.
Oh, we could do it as a
Correct.
phoner.
Correct.
That'd be worth it.
Oh,
we're so bad at that'd be fun.
Like
That's
maybe we would
just-
set it up like kind of the way we did
Christ.
Jeremy.
Totally.
Yeah.
Isn't this a great teaser?
Yeah.
Hey everyone, we're gonna have Pete Holmes. Show.
Probably.
It's going to happen.
It's never gonna happen.
But if we're teasing, you know who we are going to have on this ridiculous podcast?
Who's that?
We met. I love that Richard doesn't know. I love that.
No, Richard has no idea about our calendar at all.
Didn't Richard set it up?
No. Oh, no.
Richard, nobody's
absolutely
booked the
not.
show except me. What are you
Oh.
talking about?
Here was very busy.
We're gonna-
How would
not gonna
Richard,
fight.
how would Richard have booked the show?
So on the 10th, I believe it is the 10th of February,
You are correct.
we are going to be traveling out to Conshohocken Brewing,
Yes.
and
Glenn Macnow.
yeah, we're going to be sitting with Glenn Macnow, one of the owners of Conshohocken Brewing, and we're going to be sitting with Don Russell, who
No, it was
Doug.
Joe Sixpack.
Joe Sixpack,
Yeah.
who you may remember from such productions as the Daily News in Philadelphia. And he runs the Philly Loves Beer website and Twitter and all that other fun jazz.
And was
And
the
they-
first executive director of the Brewers Guild in New Jersey.
The Brewers Guild of New Jersey. He's one of the people that founded Philly Beer Week way back in the day.
And him and Glenn are now
A
doing.
luminary.
A luminary in our local beer world. Yeah, right. Rob Forsyth, you're correct. Him and Glenn Macnow are doing an actual TV show
That is on
on the.
NBC Sports Network in Philly.
Yes.
And they dropped a Tonewood bomb the other day.
What?
Did
They
they?
did. They gave a shout out to Tonewood. Absolutely.
Nice.
Are they here?
No.
We're gonna get him.
No.
here.
They
We're gonna talk to them.
We'll talk to him about it.
they mentioned it on what is the show called? I'm
What's
blanking.
brewing?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's brewing?
Yep.
And they threw it out last week.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, we'll make sure that they are hip to that. We will make sure we have some Tonewood beer in our possession, and we may or may not leave a couple Beer for Life glasses on the table at Conshohocken Brewing just for fun and excitement. But yeah,
I'm gonna have to
that's
miss that
happening.
show. I'm taking the family.
You're
to
very
see-
busy.
Well, my parents are also
Oh,
struggling.
that's right. You're not even going to be there.
Both my parents are struggling with some health issues.
Yes.
They are Floridians now. They have left the great state of New Jersey and now live in the great state of Florida.
Correct.
Del Boca Vista.
There's
There's no room.
no room.
Are you telling me there's no room in Del Boca Vista?
What I'm saying,
You want a piece of me? Jesus Christ! I watched, and then back to my dog. As I sat up with my dog and watched him die in front of me, I watched about 18 hours of Seinfeld.
That's what I'm going to do on
Right.
Super Bowl
So
Sunday. I already
literally-
told you. That's what I'm doing.
Episode 1, and now you go through episode 9 and then just start episode 1 again. So it's all very fresh in my brain.
so my folks both are having some issues, and whenever we go to see grandparents, we have to either go to Florida or to California. My wife's from California.
Oh, I feel so bad for you.
The spoil of riches that I have in my life is enough to make me blush. And
I don't know that I envy your situation. So
anyway, we're going down, and I'm gonna miss the Glenn Macnow.
Can Uncle Rob come?
Did you hear this? Oh, wait. I'm pausing my own story. So I'm hanging out with Rob earlier today, his son,
Rob Wizard?
yeah, his son had a hockey game. My wife had to go to a funeral for a colleague at work.
Right.
So it was not a family situation.
You were not invited.
It would have. Two kids at a funeral.
I feel like that would have been awkward.
No one's looking.
I feel like that would have been awkward.
No one's looking.
Sounds like the beginning of a Gilbert Gottfried joke.
So
Two
I'm on-
kids in a funeral.
so I'm on daddy duty this morning, and it's been cold. It's been really cold here.
Yeah.
And keeping
Crazy.
the kids cooped up in the house
Yeah,
is a train wreck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to get him out of the house, but I can't take him to the park. I can't. The museums weren't open, and I wasn't gonna have enough time anyway.
Right.
Rob tells me he's got his son playing hockey, and I was like, oh,
At 9 a.m. on a Saturday.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I know what I could do.
Good for you.
I can go watch a hockey game.
Yeah.
My kids thought it was the greatest thing. My daughter squeezed herself between Rob and his wife, literally squeezed herself
All right.
between, and he got two references as Mr. Rob. And she
Okay.
said to me on the car ride, I can't wait to see Mr. Rob. What did she start
She's
calling
the
you on the
only
third
one that
reference?
can't
Next thing you know, on the third reference, I was Uncle Rob.
Oh, look at you. You've elevated
I
yourself.
elevated my status during the game, apparently.
Uncle Rob, if you can book yourself a flight on
Yeah.
February 8th,
Sure.
to fly down to Florida with us, there is room at my parents' house. in Del Boca. And I would suggest bringing your swim trunks. It's been
Okay.
78 and sunny every day.
I'm
You'll
sure it
you'll
has.
sleep on the pullout with the bar.
But I'm
Yeah,
gonna-
with the
I'm gonna
bar
miss.
by
I'm gonna miss
Jack.
two. I'm gonna miss 2 shows. I'm gonna miss.
They
that
do
one.
go to dinner at 4:30 in the afternoon so they can catch the early
It's not
bird.
true.
What's the other one you're gonna miss?
The 6th. Isn't there something on the 16th?
Are we doing 2 podcasts in a week?
I think so.
Yeah,
I guess we are.
you're not gonna be here for that. How are we doing it here if you're not gonna be
We're
here?
not doing it here.
Oh, here.
Isn't the one on the 16th with the fellow from Treehouse?
It is.
Yeah,
Oh, we're not doing it here?
we're doing it here.
Doing it here.
We'll figure it out.
Jesus,
I love when we plan on these.
Okay,
Oh,
terrific.
my
I
God.
guess we're doing it live.
We're gonna do it live. That's
We're
the
doing it
plan.
live.
We're gonna do it in the parking lot.
Richard, how are your Cheez-Its, by the way? Yeah, people know what Cheez-Its look like.
Yeah, you don't have to show the camera.
He was an hour late and he came traipsing in hugging a bottle of Cheez-Its like it had the cure in it.
Make me feel better. I'm not feeling well, boys.
You look great.
You don't
We're
look
gonna
good.
pull it- we're gonna
I
pull
gotta
it-
admit.
You
I gotta
And it's
admit,
more
if
important
you're
to
to
look
wa-
marvelous than to feel marvelous.
If you were to see Richard walk past the camera, you'd recognize that he looks older.
He looks
Yeah.
in bad shape. He's in bad shape.
Today.
I look 90.
You have.
What do you got
But
going
I gotta
on?
say, some very kind people took care of me today, and I actually do feel a little better.
Who are these people? Who took care of you?
I think we got a good idea from the look we got in the
You know, it's
doorway
like-
about 10 minutes ago.
Oh,
I can't
those
name
people.
names.
Oh,
Never name names.
Oh,
We'll
that's-
name names.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I got you. Well, we are chock full of references here today.
And for the audio audience that'll listen to this after we post it, this will be the
No one.
moment. This will be the moment where a 7-minute clip of audio that Rob and I.
Oh,
Rob says it sounds good, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Jersey Beer Guys and a girl.
Nice.
Oh,
nice,
perfect.
Thanks.
Nice.
Thank you, Rob.
All right.
We appreciate
Thank
that
you, Rob.
because we have no idea.
There is 7 minutes of audio that Rob and I put together when we brewed this beer that we're about to drink.
Hold,
Sunday after Thanksgiving.
hold on. I
there's an
would
in-
like to make a note
You?
for the fans out there of the show.
No one.
You may have noticed
No one.
that twice
Yes.
We referenced
we
it,
referenced
and
it.
you
You're
don't
going to
put
be
it
hearing
in,
it.
I
and you never
noticed
put it in.
I didn't put it in episode
Either time.
98, right? Is that 98?
Might
It's
have been.
supposed to be where we say,
Yes.
oh, let's hear the audio now.
Yeah.
And
And
then
we
there's a
paused.
pause for 1 second and then laugh and continue on.
Let me continue.
So either it's that we were too stupid to play it, or the producer
I believe your pronoun there is incorrect.
May
It's not
have-
a we, it's a you.
may have been too high to put it in that time.
Okay.
So
And-
then we said, okay, well, let's make the joke out of that, and I'll put it in our final, our happy going away episode there, where I did the big intro, where I drank Vic's homebrew.
Yes.
Our buddy Vic,
Oh,
from the
yeah,
Ocean
yeah,
City
terrific.
Homebrew Association.
And you never
Made
did
this
it.
awesome beer,
Put it in there either.
and I didn't put it there either because I
Oh,
drank his
God,
9% beer. Oh, it's just myself.
Thank God it wasn't the beer.
Yeah, so I drank a whole bottle of his beer and then
Please
did that
find a
intro.
spot somewhere around now, or maybe after we talk about what this is.
I think, yeah, let's
To
talk,
make
after,
it fit.
yeah, I'll put it in here this time. I promise.
So we've just poured another beer that we have far too much of, I believe, that may or may not
Yeah.
I think we
And,
can actually find a way to enjoy this.
fertilizing the.
I'll take a growler at his home. If
Yeah.
you want. Yeah, I'm fine with it.
I'm I may pass on that. Can we put in a crowler?
I don't know.
It's not.
It's not
So
so
you've heard us 100 times talk about the beer that we brewed for the holidays, and it's now Groundhog Day, and we are just now getting around to fucking pouring this thing.
Pitchers and catchers are getting ready to report in
Pitchers and
about 2
catchers
weeks.
are stretching right now.
What's it called?
I believe that we landed on Fear of a Craft Beer Burden.
Yes.
I believe we landed on because craft beer, the world of craft beer has become not the party it once was, and we all signed on for this, but more of it. Ryan Egan and Tom Wood excluded, I guess more me and Rob Forzik included. This is not the party we signed on for. It's become more of a burden.
Yes.
And it's also a reference to a beer that we brewed, I want to say 4 years ago, by our buddy Ron Johnson from Yards.
I think you're right about
and
that.
our buddy Jared Ruacco, who is now
And Ryan Horner.
and Ryan Horner from Dogfish, Jared Ruacco from Allagash,
Yep.
And Ron Johnson,
And a few others.
and a few others, and those boys, two of the Ryan and Jared worked for Hunterdon, where I work.
Right.
And Ron Johnson and those two gentlemen made a beer at Yards, and it was a Scotch ale, and it was goddamn delicious.
It was very good.
And it was called Ron's Burden, and it was hilarious. So when we threw it out there to the boys for a name for this beer, it came back, and everyone thought it was hilarious. That because New Jersey, Ron is the rep for New Jersey, so New Jersey was Ron's Burden.
Right.
Now it's craft beer has become a burden.
Yep.
For all
It's
of us.
all of our burdens.
So this is the what did I
I'm
say?
all for
Fear of a craft beer burden.
Craft
Yeah,
beer
I like it.
burden.
Fear of a craft beer burden, and it has a whole new level of meaning because it's a fear. We never thought we'd get to the point where the thing that we loved as our job would become a burden, but here we all are. Other than Ryan Egan here, who-
Yeah.
my job very much.
He's very
we don't not love our jobs. We just kind of raise an eyebrow. Like I always say on here, the craft beer to me is like a child that we raised that was like a straight A student. He was an athlete. He was on the all-star teams. He was all pro, all American. He went to college on a scholarship.
Sounds very
He went
masculine.
He went to college and became an absolute hooligan and started stealing shit and started doing things incorrectly and started cutting corners and being weird and hated us, just resented us for whatever reason, even though we gave him life.
You sound like you're actually describing a lot of me.
You don't hate me. You're the exact opposite of hating me somehow. But so I mean, so craft beer went from being a love of ours and something that we championed and really loved the fact that it was becoming what it was becoming to where it is now, where we
Who
shake our heads and go,
No.
I don't know what this kid's doing.
No,
Who would have thought
it's
though?
it's still fantastic.
Who would have thought
It
though,
is
Jr.?
fantastic, but it's not the child that we raised.
It's not the Wild West that you started in.
Right, exactly.
Who
It
would have
has
thought
changed,
though?
but
Who
it
would have
is-
thought
Rob Forzik has a thought. Let him get it out.
that
Oof, this
we
fucking beer.
would be a
Fun with reverb with Richard the Rastafarian.
who would have thought that we would be actually sitting here and we are actually annoyed now and we have the fear of it being a craft beer planet.
Yeah,
Oh boy,
that's my point. Like,
existential.
I'm coming at you with one.
Oh my lord!
Let the mind blow, my
Oh.
friend.
Oh. Thanks, Richard.
don't spill that on the computer, on the soundboard. Don't spill that. Beer.
Jesus.
Not because it's
It's
anything
sad that I need a
special.
warning.
Not anything special.
I'm the radio guy and the engineer, and I need a fucking warning.
I'm gonna get you a
You
sippy
are
cup.
you are the
Just
most.
speak up.
My son has one and he doesn't spill anything. It's amazing.
I would appreciate that,
If we're
actually.
gonna start doing this, all our episodes on YouTube and filming, Richard needs to have a
I
fucking
will-
sippy cup.
I'm gonna get you.
He's
I'm gonna get you an oxygen
Cheers.
sippy cup that my son uses, and I'm gonna throw a Tony sticker on that thing, and you're going to be an adult man
You think I wouldn't,
that wears Depends.
but I would.
Colostomy bag and Depends, and you, sir, are not the engineer. You are the monkey, not
Yes.
the engineer.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's a Grateful Dead reference. It happens to be right there.
Actually,
There's a good one.
Do you know that one? The monkey, the engineer.
we haven't talked about what this beer is.
So yes. So we brewed a beer because Rob and I have, and we've been talking about how growing up and raising craft beer, we one of the first beers we were fond of when seasonals were not really a thing, just started being a thing. Pete's wicked winter, which we deduced from a couple Google searches that it was a raspberry nutmeg brown ale. So Ryan Egan took the proverbial bull by the horns and decided he was going to brew said beer. So the brew day was on the Sunday,
Follow Thanksgiving.
that followed Thanksgiving. Ooh, and here we are. Ryan Egan, the floor is yours to describe what in the entire fuck is going on here.
I think this is actually the perfect moment to have the 7-minute
Woo!
because
Richard?
it did not go well. Yeah, he's not.
Richard's everything okay? This is where you're allowed
He's
to click.
still texting away.
Fantastic.
Who are you
about 40 minutes.
Who are you texting with?
That is,
Can you? Can I? Oh my God! Look at you.
Found it.
Hey, look at that. Space Force from Eaton Sand. Yeah, nice.
Jake got that.
Oh, that's. Oh, you're not giving us this to open, are you? Oh wow.
Oh,
Okay,
nice.
good.
Oh, all right.
Josh
Okay.
gave it to you
do
guys.
you want
Thanks,
to?
man.
Are you? You want to?
No, he doesn't.
This week.
Jake, you can't see him, but we're
never
we're having a conversation.
Never mind. So
Having
Ryan,
voice.
so we brewed this. Ryan
I feel
Egan
like I
brewed this
heard
beer.
that before.
Ryan
about
Egan brewed this
15
beer.
years ago.
We brewed
Yeah,
a brown ale. We brewed a brown ale. We brewed a brown ale.
We did.
We had some difficulties during the brew day, which we explained during the 7-minute process.
Correct.
During the fermentation process, which happens in my basement,
Right.
there was
Aggressive.
very active fermentation that took place. And the thing that I'm amazed with, this beer is actually not infected.
No.
We'll describe the beer in a minute, but there's no infection with this beer.
Okay. What are we attributing?
That was an okay with a question mark.
I don't think it's
It's
infected.
questionable. Okay. You don't think it's infected?
No, I'm not getting it. Like, I agree with what some people said
Yeah.
earlier. I'm not really getting any essence of
A fermentation
No.
problem.
a fermentation
I get-
problem
okay, I agree
or
with you.
or
Is-
or an off flavor at all.
Without,
Go ahead, Richard.
I was saying we can't get him on the mic because nobody wants to be here.
Right.
But
Oh,
Eli
nice.
had some really smart thoughts about it, and that taste he was talking about. He said
The penny.
he got the penny taste.
Yeah.
That's dead on. It's exactly what.
It's a little
And it's in the
metallic.
finish.
Yeah,
It's not like the main flavor, but
Right.
it's like once you swallow it, and you
Right.
go, okay, there's some raspberry. There's a hint of some nut thing
It's in
happening.
the finish, right?
And oh, that's a wet penny.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I hate it. That's the
I'm-
weird thing about it. Like
I actually, the more that I drink this beer, the more that I actually like. I kind of enjoy this.
It's
I
not
don't
bad.
hate it.
It's not bad.
no,
What's the
it's
ABV
not
on
bad
this,
at
Ryan?
all.
And we're gonna call it 6.5.
That's where we're going.
We're gonna.
Well, that's right in our wheelhouse. I
Yeah.
really enjoy it. Nice 6.5%.
The one thing I'll just say, because
It's
I
not
was
watery. I like the mouthfeel of it.
Yeah.
Just that it's just got
It's a
that.
beer. There is a
It's
beer.
definitely a beer.
You may have mentioned that it's overly hopped,
I believe that
which
there's
I
a
do.
little extra
I am
hops.
catching that now because when you said that to me, I was like, "How's that even possible?" But now I'm definitely feeling that now that the beer has come up a little
Can-
bit to room
Can I?
temperature.
the one
Is it
thing.
because you taste the hops too long? Like I kind of feel like I taste the
For the
hops
style,
all the way
for the
through.
style, for the style of
Yeah.
beer. The
'Cause-
brown ale shouldn't be
Yeah.
something that you're actually feeling or tasting hops a lot.
Yeah, the hop should be kind of like the background singer.
Can we cue a goddamn
Oh
fucking
shit!
siren? What did he say? Are you tasting the hops too long?
I don't know.
I tasted too long. It's not quick. I tasted
It's working.
through everything. You know what I mean? It's big. It's there.
Yeah,
It's very there.
it's there. No, it definitely is there.
Tasting the hops too long.
Hey man. Hey man.
Listen,
I'll
we're
tell
fine.
you-
was throwing out words.
I'll tell you,
Time
I'm gonna
out.
stop.
Christ.
One,
Yep.
Yeah.
Time out.
oh, too much.
I was going to say, I'm very shocked that
Chase
there
for
is.
more.
I'm
I
giving
know
it
he
to
is.
I'm
And
giving
he
it
was
to
complaining, said he wasn't going to have it.
Oh, he's
No,
no,
I'm giving it to
fast enough. He's
I'm
fast
very shocked that there's not a lot of. There's not a lot of presence of the nutmeg at all.
Yeah.
Which I'm shocked because you actually used fresh nutmeg.
Well, fresh nutmeg that I broke up with in a mortar and a pestle,
And Immortal, yeah.
and then added to the boil.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
there should maybe I'll add
Right.
fresh nutmeg to the
weird
fermentation.
Maybe.
Next time, I don't know if there's going to be next time.
I don't think there's going to be a next time.
Really? Does anyone at the table want a next time? Do any of the listeners here?
Really?
No one wants to drink this beer. I had reservations about making it. I wasn't because I never tasted Huge Wicked Winter.
Yes. Well, like I said to you,
It is not
for anyone
An
that's
approximation of
good
that.
at that.
Yeah.
for
right.
anyone that is listening to this that does remember Pete's Wicked Winter,
Which has been off the shelves.
it's been off the shelves
Close to
for
20
about
years.
20 years.
Right.
The thing that I'll say is
she
that
does. I expect the
I
picture of
feel
it.
like the raspberry on this
She's
is way more out in front, where it wouldn't be in that beer in Pete's Wicked Winter. I feel like you got more of the actual essence of the nutmeg playing with the hops
Right.
with a
With
subtleness,
the peats, yeah.
with a subtleness of the raspberry.
That's
Where I feel like this has way
Raspberry
more
up front,
raspberry up front
Which,
and not a lot of nutmeg.
without a reference point of having ever tasted it, I was
Correct.
I was throwing darts into a
Correct.
blind,
Also,
I'll
blindly
just-
throwing darts at a horse.
Also remember, speaking about throwing darts blindly, my memory is dog shit. His is slightly better than mine.
Yeah.
And we're going off a memory from 1996.
Exactly.
So let's all be real.
And that's
here.
why I was just explaining it to the listeners if there is anybody that actually tasted Pete's
I thought you were going
Wicked
to say anybody that actually listened. Damn it.
Winter. Yeah. I was saying that.
We know people listen.
If anybody listens back that did taste that beer, I was trying to describe what I feel is
There's
the
gotta
differences,
be.
yeah.
I'm sure
There's
there
got to
is.
be people that are
I'm
that
sure
are,
there is.
that are of a certain age.
I would have loved to have nailed it. And but
We could
there was
say you
there was
did.
well,
No, on a scale of 1
I
to
could
10.
lie to you.
You
I
did.
did.
But unfortunately, you did. But we could, for radio purposes and podcasting purposes, said Ryan Egan is
Oh,
a
Ryan
master."
Egan.
Oh, God. What were you going to say, Richard?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how close did he get? 10 being it's actually exactly like it.
I
being
know
not
what
there.
I know what my number is. I'm going to write it on my hand.
You're gonna write it on your hand.
Even the computer screen can't see this.
I'm going to write it on my hand, and I'm going to let Rob Forzik say his, and I have a feeling we're going to be close, if not dead on with each other. Go ahead, Rob Forzik. On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you think Ryan Egan did?
I'm
And it's
gonna,
not going to be all his fault.
and yes, I'm going to say that my number has nothing to do with his ability
his
of
ability.
brewing beer
Correct.
at
Not
all.
at all. There were
He had
issues.
a lot of
which
lot
you
of
would have-
problems,
Not only that,
and I actually was there to witness it.
Gotcha.
So
what would
I
you
am
say?
this is actually it tastes like a beer.
It does.
It does. It
Right.
does.
A win.
I'm really that's the only thing I'm proud of
We'll
at this
take it.
moment.
I
What's
am-
your number,
we'll
Rob?
take
What
it.
is it?
My number I'm going to say is a 4.
Whoa!
I went with a.
I guessed his number 6.
I went with a
Well, 6, okay.
Yeah,
We're close.
we're close.
All right.
Close.
6.
Off by 20%.
So-
20%.
It's like how I view
Take
time.
the average, it's a 5. So we're halfway there.
11:30. I got here at 12:03.
Like John Bon
So
Jovi,
sick.
Richard. We're halfway there.
And as always, Richard's living on a prayer.
End is a fucking burden.
Yeah, all those things are true.
Oh, Lordy.
All right.
Well,
I
Jake
like
brought,
it.
Jake
I
brought
like
in a
this.
beer. I'm gonna let this
I was about
warm
to
up a little
go
bit.
grab another. Why would we let that warm?
Do you want to grab one of mine?
I want to open that orange one that's in there.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I'll go get whatever you want.
There's a 16
Ryan
ounce
Egan's
orange
gonna go
can in there that needs to be drank. And we'll
Okay.
explain why it needs to be drank.
all right.
When you say you're going to explain, I get to eat a cheese it.
Yeah, you can eat it.
He's eating a cheese. He's been eating a lot of cheese today.
cheese it.
Should I start talking?
But I took a sip. I took a sip. I thought Richard was onto something. You know, the guy. I guess he filled his face with Cheez-Its.
He's got a lot going on.
As I tried to
today.
finish this. Burning.
Actually, I
beer.
don't. I'm
Yeah.
so out of work, it's ridiculous.
What do you mean you're out of work?
I mean, I work at the music shop, but the
Okay.
radio gig, we have like normally, it's a shore-based radio station, bunch of radio stations. So events usually die in like September. We were busy through December,
Okay.
and now
Were you
there's nothing.
very busy?
I mean, not only were we very busy,
Were you
crazy busy.
hashtag?
I was hashtag very busy, but also hashtag
Were you very busy?
Hashtag
no.
asshole.
still have a job. They went through another round of some dismissals.
And you're still
It's changing.
employed.
And I am still, my
Wow.
fat ass is still employed.
Ow.
shit.
Right?
He
I
made 2
survived it.
rounds of firings.
That's never happened ever.
Yeah.
Literally, it's never happened.
I expected every minute. to get
Every
that call.
time you've been at a job where there's supposed to be layoffs and firings,
I'm laid off.
you are first.
Oh, he
Oh,
was
yeah.
first on the list.
first on the list
Oh, yeah.
every time.
No doubt about it.
Could Richard D. Rastafarian please come to the main office?
Jesus Christ. I don't know why that'll never not be funny to me. God damn it, that's hilarious.
Jeez.
Oh God, no one's gonna start doing it. So Ryan Egan went and got a. Oh, wow, it's funny. Look at
It's
that.
right next to you.
It is.
That's what I was going
It
to
is.
say to you. Like,
It
dude,
is.
it's already here.
It is. He got it. I guess he must have went to the bathroom. He got it. He delivered it. Yeah. So my man stopped playing. So this beer I found at a store locally to us.
Okay.
It's funny when you go to a store, and Rob and I spend a lot of time in retail outlets, stores that sell beer, liquor stores, as it were. Gotta stop saying that. As it were is going to be the new thing for 2019. Don't let me say it. We got over Circle Back. We got over I Will Say This. We got over I'll Tell You This. Now, for some reason, I'm saying as it were, like I'm some kind of English professor.
Are you going to take a deep dive
Oh,
right now?
right. No, I'm going to try not to. I took a deep, on that last beer, I said I was going to take a deep dive. I took a deep dive in the kiddie side of the pool, and I broke my own fucking neck. So I had just as ill prepared as a human being could be for life in general. So I was in a store, and the funny thing about stores nowadays, and Ryan Egan's in these stores too, when you go look,
We already discussed that. You were away.
When you're standing there in like the warm beer section, even in the cold beer section, there's so much goddamn beer. Of the beers that you see, if you're looking at a warm shelf and you see 40 SKUs, and I did this, I counted 40 SKUs. I counted 40 different beers on a warm shelf in a store, single facing, 40 different SKUs. 36 of them were an IPA of some sort.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Was it that many?
36, dude.
36? That sounds about
36
right.
out of 40.
Yeah.
Why are we storing these IPAs one?
I have no idea. So
Because they don't have anywhere to store
Yeah.
36.
So,
facings.
but in that
Cold.
wall, yeah, how are we gonna do?
I just came up with an idea.
Do you have an idea?
How do we get rich?
Are we gonna broadcast that?
I don't know. I'll talk to you off mic.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got an
Oh,
idea?
Mike, all right.
get rich.
Don't
Don't make beer
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, what do you think?
Exactly,
Where'd that
brother.
come from? Where'd you get that?
in Vermont.
Did you brought it back?
Yeah,
I fucking love those
it's
guys.
incredible.
Von Trapp, right? Holy shit, that Weiss beer is ridiculous.
It's
It's
a
the
good
best
beer.
beer in Vermont.
Yeah, right. Oh. Yes, I will agree with you there. That brewery's insane. We sell them.
What is it?
I can't get people hip to it. Von Trapp.
Trap family.
Oh, Von Trapp. Yeah.
Does anyone
Fine.
else want one?
If you have one, we can share it.
3 more.
Oh shit, we'll take one if you have it.
Okay.
So meanwhile, I'm looking at all these IPAs on the shelf, and one popped up. They're stored warm. One popped up to me because it's like wallpaper, and I'm looking at every one of them. It's a double IPA. It's a this. It's a mango. It's an orange. It's a milkshake. It's this. It's that. They all have the trippy labels. It's all the same goddamn thing. This one from Stillwater Artisanal jumped out at me because my favorite color, like Frank Sinatra, is orange. Nice. Oh, beautiful. Look at you. Thank you. But this is Action Bronson. Is anyone familiar with Action Bronson? Richard, you know who Action Bronson is?
No.
You really don't? Ralph Forza?
I don't.
Ryan Egan? Action Bronson? We don't need to open 3. We can open 1.
I'm sorry. Did you ask me for a reference?
Do you know who
of
Action
something
Bronson is?
cultural That I don't know.
Good
this.
Lord.
He's
Let's go.
we play them in the tasting room.
Yeah.
He would know.
Yeah.
Well, not tasting room when we're in production.
Yes. When you guys are making beer. So Action Bronson is a 300-pound white rapper with a big giant red beard who does a TV show called Fuck That's Delicious because he's a chef.
Oh, okay.
I do know actually.
Right, of course, everyone does. He's covered in tattoos. He's covered in tattoos. He's like one of my life idols. Like I want to be this cat because he goes around and he does rap shows, and he's a great rapper, and he sounds 100% like Ghostface
No
from the
shit.
Wu-Tang Clan.
Ghostface
Nice.
Killer.
One of the same, right?
I don't see
Yes.
you getting a ton of tattoos, though.
No, I'm not doing that.
You've settled for just one around your finger for your
Yeah.
entire life.
But I'm well on my way to the 300 pounds portion of things.
That's down.
Oh, 2011. Well done. Yeah, I pulled up Blue Chip
This
7000.
is my favorite.
Yeah,
I can't get off of it.
I got that La Luna playing from Blue Chips, where he's on hold. He's on hold with a cab company, and the hold music is right. Can you hear that?
Kind of.
It's so great.
You would love this animal.
There you go. That sounds better.
Really would.
Ready?
You would love it.
He's rapping over the whole music. This guy's my hero.
All right.
You get the point. So he put out a
Nice
beer.
work.
So he put out a beer.
It's gotta be good. He loves those natural lines.
Yeah. So he put out a beer with our friends at Stillwater Artisanal, who we really don't know. So I pulled it off the shelf.
Our close friends.
Our close friends.
Sisters from another mister. Brothers from another mother.
I pulled it off the shelf 2 weeks ago, and it was packaged on the 13th of August, 2018. And it's Best Buy the 13th of February.
Oh, we're very close.
Wait a minute, 13th of February.
It's a month from now.
Yeah.
I'll be in.
It says 20. Best Buy 20? Is that right?
What?
The 2 year.
Can you read that back to me?
That can't be right.
The 2 year shelf.
When was it?
You tell me. Am I
August
reading
of
that wrong?
2018. Best Buy. 2 years.
Packaged August 13th of 18.
Correct.
Best by,
Typo.
it says
13.
BBE.
What's the E?
Best by Enjoy.
Maybe.
13th of February 20.
20? It's a 2 year
That's
shelf life.
impossible. This is an IPA?
It was in with it's
It was some
dry,
months around.
dry hopped sour ale with musket grapes.
Oh, well, then that makes sense. Okay. All right.
It's not like it.
So 35.
Good job. So you didn't even read it. You just bought it.
Well, it was mixed in with the IPAs.
Love it. 35 out of 40 were
All right,
IPAs.
It turned out better.
Right,
before
right.
it was.
35 out of
There's 35. Either way, why are we pouring in this metal glass?
I like that metal
That's
glass.
right. You
20
can
to
stop.
21.
I finally got it back to him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm
Did I
a huge,
strip the paint
I'm a
off?
huge Action Bronson fan, and I love this can. And now I'm very curious because this sort of is. Ooh, okay. I get the 2020 now. Wow. Oof.
Wow.
Was that wow because I belched my breakfast?
Yeah,
Not from the beer?
because your Dunkin' Donuts breakfast sandwich just made an appearance.
Nah, son. I don't play with Dunkin' Donuts.
What was that?
I go, what the hell is that?
Our boy Ed
Oh, Jesus.
from Hunterdon
No
is
shit.
in the tasting room right now.
Watching us.
Watching us.
Behind him?
Sitting having a beer
That's-
inside the tasting room.
Hilarious.
That's a great photo. We're going to use that on
Yeah, we
social
should
media for
definitely use that.
sure.
That's awesome.
We
nice.
This
didn't
beer,
sign a waiver for the rights to that.
this beer is awesome.
This
This
beer
is pretty good.
fantastic.
This beer
This
is
is
fucking
nice.
great. Holy
Wow.
shit! Wow. Okay.
What's his name?
He calls himself
Bron-
Action Bronson.
Bronson.
Go on YouTube and search "Fuck That's Delicious." You will be hooked.
Wow, that's
You know
fucking
what?
good,
You know
dude.
what show I got hooked on last night?
God, he's so
Do we
good.
want him on the show?
Last night.
I would love to have Action Bronson on the show. Oh, that you're pointing at me, telling me to get it done. I thought you had. I thought you had something.
I just meant that.
When does he have anything?
No.
It's out there.
That, you know what that point was?
I do this.
If anyone's watching this,
I
the
do
point
this.
was when he had the idea. That was like the light bulb moment.
that
I
was
was like,
We should have.
we should do that. We should do that.
It's totally his point that he gave for Larkin
Son of-
Poe,
Yeah,
too,
Larkin-
that he hasn't done nothing about.
Well, I've
He
shot
just
that
keeps
one.
saying, like, we should have Larkin Poe on the show, but he does nothing to try to get them.
Is Eli still back here?
Somewhere.
Make sure he gets
Oh, yeah,
that.
he's gotta taste that.
He's got to taste that.
He
Pour
said he
some of
wanted
this-
to.
Pour some of this for him.
Yeah,
This,
give him that.
this is
This
killer.
is fantastic.
Really good.
Holy shit, that's good.
I love the nose on it,
Oh
too.
my god, man,
The nose is funky.
Mm-hmm.
super funky, right?
Right?
I like that
Like,
a lot.
like I can't even.
That is nice.
Oh my god, that is wow.
I'm a fan.
God damn.
God damn!
Holy shit, that's. It sucks too because it was the last can on the shelf.
Wow.
I
Well,
took a
you
picture
got
of
it.
it. I took a picture of it. I sent it to Ed. Ed's like, grab me one. I was like, gosh, I got the last one. God damn it.
Why didn't you let Ed taste it before he went out to the
I didn't know we
tasting
were
room?
opening it.
Hi, Ed.
Shit,
Hey, Ed, sorry you missed it.
you can't hear out there. They got something crunchy blast out there. I'm sure.
Oh, man. That is something.
Wow.
I'm digging it.
Oh my god.
That's a real sour and sweet mix there.
Subtle
There's a-
sweet. Subtle sweet. Perfectly sour.
That's nice. I
Really
like it.
sour,
like
but that
it-
sweet makes it so it's not.
So he brewed this?
He collaborated with them. I guess he gave
With
them
who?
Stillwater. And
Stillwater,
kind
that
of
was
gave
it,
them
okay.
his ideal flavor profile.
Don't you guys have
And
them
they
in your
fucking nailed it.
network of people somewhere?
Who,
Stillwater?
Stillwater? Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we could.
What was the dude's name? Was it Brian Strumke from Stillwater many years ago?
Mhm.
Were they bought out by EB, or is that
No.
they're still very technically? Oh, that's what we should talk about too. A lot has happened.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't even know about this, Richard. Another podcast that we need to put together. Do you have a time, by the way, Richard, that we're up to? Should I even go into anything else? Or we should?
2:41, sir. We're fine.
I told my wife 3:30, so I guess we're okay. She sent me a shopping list. I told her I'm going tomorrow. I don't know if she did in case I'm going today. I hope she doesn't. I don't know.
You're heading to the Wegmans after this, fella.
I hope not. My plan is to go home and put my pajama pants back on. That I've had on.
By the way, one thing I was going to say earlier, and then the course of conversation started rolling.
Coors.
I
You don't
was
forget
gonna-
Coors.
I said the course.
Oh,
I'm just glad that you have come back to reality, and we didn't end up on a long hiatus
very
over
possible.
over everything that was going on in your world.
That's crazy that I'm even here. It's crazy I'm even here.
So cheers to you.
I appreciate that.
Cheers.
I appreciate
All right.
that. So we're gonna open another beer, dude. That fucking Stillwater is ridiculous, right?
I'm gonna look.
Did
for
Eli
it.
get some?
No,
I got the last can.
I put the. Oh,
I got the
okay,
last
cool.
can.
I put the can on the desk.
Okay.
I couldn't find it.
Where?
He is
He's
elusive.
wandering around.
It's gone.
somewhere.
It's
He'll find it
gone.
eventually.
We got a couple of can releases happening today, so that it's
It's very busy out
it's cranking out.
It is. It is. I
there.
tried.
Very, very busy.
Time for Tonewood releases.
What are we releasing today?
Today, Powder Days made a return.
Oh shit! Old
Dou-
school.
Double IPA.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
Old school meeting last year.
Yeah.
Asshole.
And then the son of Powder Days, or the daughter of Powder Days, however you want to
Yeah. Yeah.
Improv.
Improv.
We're gonna be doing improv a lot more is the plan, and we're gonna.
Why?
They
Because
feel
it's
like
awesome.
yeah, it's this really great double IPA that is double dry hopped, and everyone seems to enjoy it. So we're gonna be doing a lot more canning, kegging of that, and the 16-ounce 4-packs, which generally only get sold out of the tasting room, are gonna make their way out to the world,
Awesome.
which is exciting. Yeah. So
Hey, well, you know what? No, I don't want to ask you this because I don't know if
You
it's
ask
something
me
we can
anything
talk
about-
about. No. I
Go
saw
for it.
something back here, and I don't know if it's something you want to talk about. So I'll just leave it off the table.
Rift
Yes.
cans
Yeah.
coming.
Nice. I had one yesterday.
Yeah.
Are we
It's
allowed
very
to talk
good.
about the artwork? Because I saw like octopus tentacles.
Yeah, there's tentacles.
What is that?
I have no idea.
Okay, because I read the description. Nowhere does it reference it. And I know what the Rift is referencing, but I didn't. Oh, I thought Richard was dumping a beer on top of his board.
One for the board, yeah.
Not out of the realm. of
One
Before I went out
possibilities.
for my home, he's on the board. Yeah.
Please.
So after this, after the Action Bronson beer, we opened with Eli. Walked back here sipping on a Von Trapp Weiss beer. Von Trapp out of Vermont. Just an awesome, super ridiculously, stupidly underrated brewery making classic German style beers the correct, absolute most correct way.
That is German.
They're amazing. So a quick, funny, interesting, well, maybe not interesting, quick, funny story.
That's nice.
Yeah.
The guy,
Sam,
was that his name from Von Trapp?
the grandson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he came around and he was in the market, as they say in our world, which means he was in the area.
Visiting.
He was visiting and he was going account to account, and they had a night, a Von Trapp saying, Von Trapp. I just choose to ignore him.
Well, for those listening that aren't unfamiliar,
We're down to one person. We've
Well,
scared off 10 people.
It's Ed sitting in the tasting room.
it is
Ed in the
Ed in
tasting
the tasting. The Von Trapp family is the very one and only from The Sound of Music.
Right.
Von Trapp family that fled
Austria.
Austrian
Right.
Nazi,
You are correct.
and they landed in Vermont,
Correct.
and the hills were alive there too.
Right.
And so they set up shop.
Gotcha.
Right. In a very picturesque location, and they're making classic German beers there, and they're just killing it.
I believe they would call them Austrian.
Austrian, yeah, definitely. But people aren't.
German stuff.
What's not? People aren't as
Sure, sorry.
receptive. People aren't as receptive here in New Jersey as I would like them to be, because the beers are stupidly good.
They're so
I would agree.
cleanly.
Clean is the word, right?
They're so cleanly made.
Jeez.
They're so technically proficient in what they're
Proficient.
doing. It's kind of. So I have visited this wonderful place.
You've seen it. I've heard it's unbelievable.
Well, so I went years ago, and they have
Oh, they have a new
since-
spot.
They have
Yeah.
no, it's the same. It's the
Well,
same
they've-
location.
right.
They have invented the brewery in the
I can't
sense that
stop smelling it.
It's
their
very good.
Jesus Christ.
production facility has gone up tenfold as
Wow.
far as new equipment. But when I was there, it was the year after my wife and I got married, and we hadn't taken a honeymoon, so this was kind of like our
Nice.
first anniversary.
All right.
And it was the most idyllic place I've ever been in my life. Honest, Stowe, Vermont is one of the prettiest places I've ever been in my life. And we went in August, which is when we have our anniversary, and it was really something else.
Wow. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that it's quite a place to visit, especially now, because I think like the walls are glass floor to ceiling, and you look out on the hills,
The hills.
and you just see it's supposed to be absolutely
And
unbelievable.
the hills are, in fact, mountains.
Right, exactly.
So,
But they're making
Big
killer stuff, and it's available in New Jersey. And my company sells it, but I don't know that anybody really knows that that's what's happening. So Eli walked into the room, and he was drinking a Weiss beer, and he dropped a couple cans on us as we're sitting here. Not technically in the program, Richard. We weren't
No.
we weren't planning on drinking
I
this.
just
but
went off the fly on that.
we're on the fly.
The magic of Eli.
Did you take a sip?
Oh, I've been drinking.
How do you feel?
I said very German. I mean, it sounds so general to say, but everything you would expect that
yeah,
German
my
tastes
shoulders
like.
just kind of like
Jesus Christ.
gave
Yeah.
a little.
You could drink this
You know
all
why?
the time. It's super easy to drink.
You see Weiss beer and
It's crisp.
the generalization. You're right, which are very crisp, very clean.
Yep.
Is it's going to be like a clove bomb? You know what I mean? Like we've gotten to the point where you know kind of what to expect in this style of beer.
I
Right.
kind of feel like I like how the clove is there, but it's very much in the background
Super
of
balanced.
everything. Right?
Yeah, super
Am I
balanced,
right
right.
on that?
Super, yes.
It's
it's
very, very subtle. In
It's not the star of the
back
show.
But I like it.
done well,
What-
man.
Yeah.
God damn.
What is
I'm
the
almost catching a hit. Go ahead, Richard.
German beers can have a different sort of sour, not
I wouldn't.
not there. But I mean, it's the thing that offsets the sweet. That's not sour. That's what I'm getting to. I don't know what that is, but I like it. It's because it's different than like a Belgium where you would have.
Germans generally don't sour, but if they do anything with the word
What's
that could even be described as sour, it's a sigilled malt.
woo? Is that what balances out the sweetness? Is that what's giving it? So it's
Changes
not.
That's why he's here.
Twice here.
It changes. It can change the pH. So
Okay.
pH of water is 7, right? Or it's supposed to be if it's
Right.
pH-ish.
so. And
See what I
then
did there?
Bitch.
You're
So-
fired. Awful.
So-
My God, I'll
so
see
your
myself
pH 7 is water. Then you've got basic and you've got acidic, right? Acidic goes lower, basic goes higher.
Yeah.
So the more acidic it can be, and it's a logarithmic thing, and it's math that I don't understand, but talk to my twin brother and figure it out. But yeah, basically, the more acidulated malt you use, it's usually to counteract water that isn't 7 to start,
Okay.
if that makes sense. Like
It does.
you can have soft water or you can have hard water.
Hardware.
Right.
And then you can use acidulated malt and calculate it in a mathematical and scientific way, which brewers can do. And then they can use the artistic way to kind of create flavor as well.
And that's what's balancing against the sweet.
Mhm.
I like it.
I'm going with that. That's my
You're
final
going
answer.
to-
Rob,
That's my
That's your final answer.
That's my
You
final answer.
buying this, Rob?
I'm
Jay
in.
Rose, you buying
I'm
this?
in.
It's awesome. I'm
Yeah.
catching a touch, a hint. I know it's not there.
I
Let me make sure.
I
I'm
see what you're
catching
saying.
it.
There's nothing sour here, but I
Right,
do,
but
I
there's
do
something that's taking the sweet away.
I would
It's
call
counteracting the sweet.
I would call that either
Balancing.
What is that? I would call that either acidic, slightly acidic,
Okay.
or like pH is different. Also acidic.
Okay. I buy that.
Cool.
That sounds scientific.
There evidently is a chat.
Really?
Yeah, we can't
can't
see
see
it,
it.
but you're seeing it on there.
I can see it on my phone. I was just checking in to see if I logged in to the actual situation.
Here's
If I could see that I'm there, and I can see that I'm there.
here's the funny thing about all of this. We really didn't announce that we were doing this until the moment that we were doing this.
Yes.
We
Yes.
expected nobody to be watching. Or
Right,
listening
but there
to
is
this.
people
We got
watching.
5 people.
See that?
You're saying that with this disdain as if
Oh, I don't expect anyone.
5 people who care enough to
5 times the amount of people I thought gave a shit.
Hold on. No, it's infinitely more because you expected 0.
I'd like to see
And
us do
one
something
person.
like this a little more often.
We can do this more often. It's
Yeah.
very easy.
I mean,
As
it's
long as
very
we have
easy.
Wi-Fi.
There's one
Source
wire.
to it every time.
This was actually pretty easy to
Yeah.
tell you the truth.
Funny
We've
enough,
been running it now for.
Funny enough, I sent the original the original link when we started. I sent it to Ed, and he was at his house, and he was like, "Oh wow, sounds
he's
great.
here.
Looks great." Now he's here. Sounds great. It looks great. But then he showed up right here at the door, and he looked shocked. I was like, "What's going on, man?" And he's like, "Dude, I expected this room to be about 10 times the size. He's like, from what I'm seeing, he's like, I just assumed that this room was enormous. I'm wondering if it was enormous, would Ryan Egan be sitting in the door jamb
Exactly.
in the threshold?
Exactly.
Would I be sitting on Rob Forzik's actual lap?
Yeah. Me and
Evidently. But
I
according
feel
to,
like
according to
that's
Ed,
your wheelhouse, though.
No.
Right on
my lap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right on my
Rob's
lap.
got his hand up your ass and
Yeah.
puppet master
Yeah.
the shit out of
Uh,
it.
We enjoy being close.
we enjoy ourselves.
We enjoy ourselves.
Oh my Lord God in heaven. This is a tremendous beer. And I was
Well,
going to
I
say,
need a second, and there's a lot. So.
I'll take a little bit
Go
more.
for it.
That
For
is very
some
good.
reason, I'm going to try it again and just see if
That
I
is-
Do you want
am-
to drink one of mine?
Sure.
That's-
I'm-
yes, we do.
We can
Grab
that.
that dogfish.
Next one,
Oh,
Richard.
grab that dogfish because I don't even
There's two
remember
of
it.
those.
It's the same beer.
I know. There's more for us.
More for us.
Because we need more beer.
There's more for us.
That's
That is
good.
really
No,
good.
I'm
I'm
not.
gonna have a little.
Initially, I thought I was getting a touch of smoke, but I'm not.
No, I wasn't. I mean, I don't know what you were thinking, but I wasn't.
Oh no, I don't know why my head went that way, but I guess I want to taste smoke in everything.
I love this
Yes.
beer. I didn't see what it was.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
What is it? What do you
I don't even know how I got it.
I don't remember this release.
You're in the
Rob, do you
bottom
remember
of
this
my
release?
tub.
I had this on tap at the brew pub.
Did you?
I did.
In
Can you
in
guys tell me how I
Rehoboth?
got these?
Rob, do you have any idea why Richard has this?
I have.
Would Horner have given it to me? Or Rob Holmes maybe? Or one of those nice
Or maybe
gentlemen
you
that
just
work for
talked to
us?
those guys and you decided to.
Did I
buy it.
steal them from one of the events we were at?
Richard manifested this, is what he did.
They've
he
been in
thought
the
he
bottom
wanted
of
it, and there it was.
my bin for a while.
That's a weird beer to be in the bottom of a bin, I would think.
It's in the bin where I said I
You
wanted
got a
to.
date on it?
Yeah, it was bottled May 12th of 2016.
Right.
Is that a 16 or a 15?
It's a 16.
Let me see
Are you
yours
sure?
because mine looks like it says 15.
It's
Oh,
a
yours
16.
definitely says 16.
Yeah, you see it?
Where's mine? Look at mine. Mine kind of could be a 15, but they're definitely not. It's the same, I'm sure.
Sure, Jim.
Yeah, you're supposed to be. It could be a 15, but I'm thinking it's just that's just
Just
an
way,
ink mark.
yeah,
Yeah,
just
because they're both the same
What was
date.
it?
Yeah.
16
Oh, okay.
makes-
Okay.
What was the
16.
month? What was the month?
May 12th.
Mixed up.
So
Yeah.
I'm in summer.
So-
What if you two didn't bring it to something that I took from home
No.
by accident?
Shit, I don't
No.
know why you would
I
have this.
have
And we have, and we're sitting here talking about it like assholes. It's
or I bought it and don't
the,
remember.
the beer de Provence saison made with lavender.
I remember having this.
Beer
Well,
de Provence.
Thank you, sir.
On the show?
How do I pronounce
I
that
don't
word
think we
right
had it
there?
on the show, but I do remember drinking this beer when it
Marjoram.
came out.
Marjoram and bay leaves. Interesting.
Yeah.
Right. It seems like a
I
combination.
should take a picture of it since it's Dogfish Boys. Or should we? You know what? Should we call
You
anybody?
can try one.
I think right now, if Ryan Horner's watching
He's
this,
not.
he's cursing the screen right now. He's like, that son of a bitch stole my bottles.
I could be. I stole it from him one time. That's entirely possible.
I'm gonna call him.
I'm
What is-
an honest beer.
What does
thief.
Richard
I'm
call
gonna
it?
call him.
What does Richard call it? He's
Liberated.
He liberated.
liberated it from
I
Ryan
did
Horner.
liberate him from him. Yeah, possible.
I'm gonna call Ryan Horn. I'm gonna
Yes.
see. I'm gonna tell him what's
He's
going
not
on.
going to answer.
He's not gonna answer. There's no fucking way. Oh Christ.
We say that all the time, but at least two.
I don't think he's
going
going
to
to answer this time because he knows.
2 out of 3.
Let's
Ain't
get there.
bad. That's Meatloaf.
Oh boy.
Ain't bad.
Oh boy.
Saw him live.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
VH1 Storytellers
Oh,
in Boston. Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see how this works.
You want to hear you.
Ryan Horner, this is one J Rose from the Fear of a Craft Beer Planet Craft Beer podcast. I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Yes.
I really don't want to. So I'm going to ask you. Here's what I'm going to ask you. We have a beer in front of us that we don't know why we have it.
No, because Richard had it.
Richard had it, and it's a Dogfish beer. And if you don't feel like dealing with us, that's fine. But I'm just curious if you know anything about it because I really don't.
Beer de Provence.
The
We don't know. That's what we're trying to
Why
figure
he
out.
I
has
don't
it.
remember. Yeah.
I think maybe was liberated.
Horner, we feel like he liberated it from you.
Did you give this to me, buddy?
So Horner.
What it is.
Okay, so listen, it's the Bière de Provence Saison, brewed with lavender, marjoram, and bay leaves. Do you know anything about it? I
Tell
don't
him
know
what bottle date is May 12th, 2016.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
How did Richard get it?
I mean, it's without the market. So
Okay.
anyone could get it.
Okay.
All right.
I must have
I
bought
just,
it.
dude, I don't. It's just bizarre. I don't even remember the artwork on this. I don't remember this beer.
I do remember the beer. I'm just curious how he got it.
Pretty looking bottle.
Yeah,
Did he bring it to that first record store day?
you probably bought it.
Oh no, that was after that. Never mind.
I don't
No.
think Horner. So all
Yeah.
right. Well, we're gonna open it, Horner.
Yeah, I mean, it's a saison, so I mean, it does have. I mean, we put a 6-month code date on it, so
Right.
It's,
It's a 9.
It doesn't have the ultimate that should. That's why.
Right.
I mean, it's a saison, so it will have some life to it.
Okay.
But it's the herbs de Provence in the beer. So
Gotcha.
this beer was fantastic when it was fresh.
Okay.
With like roasted chicken and.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got something on the smoker today? Speaking of chicken.
No, I don't actually.
All right. I thought you did for some reason. Oh, you've been putting pictures of other people's smokers on today.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, my buddy Jerry has the rack ribs and a pork butt on right now.
Oh God. That sounds
Jerry's
amazing.
Jerry's cooking.
Jerry's making moves.
Nice. Nice.
It's killing it, man. Killing it. All right. Well, we just wanted to check in and say hello and say that we're opening this Beer de Province.
You're on the 100th episode.
Yeah, it's evidently the 100th episode, and
We're
Would
live.
you like me to
tell
send
him,
you?
tell him you can watch it.
I'm going to send you the link. We're actually on YouTube live right now. Believe it or not.
Oh, dear God.
I'm gonna send. I'll send you the
I'm
link.
sending it right now.
I send it to him, and we're gonna open this beer and drink it and see what's what.
Sounds good.
You're a hero. We love you. Talk to you later.
All right, buddy.
See you.
Bye, guys.
See.
Peace.
We put him on the spot.
You did.
It's a saison. You fucking
He's good at
idiots. Well, who's gonna open this?
You
You
are.
are.
do it.
I'm gonna open it.
Oh yeah, you need my opener. Oh, there you go.
So I didn't steal it from him. That's good. I'm guessing
No.
I didn't steal it from Rob Holmes
Well,
either.
I was just curious. I mean, it wasn't
I'm
the
glad you
market.
didn't liberate it from anyone.
Yeah, I liberated from anyone. So I must have bought it at
wasn't
some
the
point in my
market.
life and never brought it to a
Okay.
show and forgot about it.
All right. So I've poured a little bit into my glass here.
There you go.
Do you need a? There, you're good.
You know what? I'm just gonna put it on the thread with everybody on it.
Yeah,
In case
there you go.
everybody wants to jump on.
You have two. I could be a little more liberal. I think. Bottles.
Well, it was liberated.
It was
Well, Rob and I
liberated.
split the other one. Rob, open up. Just split the other one.
You two idiots split that, and us two idiots will split this one.
Yeah.
Les Miserables.
So Ryan Horner made mention that to the fact that this
You
is
two Les Miserables, you drink those ones, and we drink this one.
they never want to hear you do a French accent again.
It's a very good French accent.
It is not.
It is no. It is
Opposite of that.
So good.
So he did say that this was probably
I
the
do
best-
remember this beer coming out. I just don't know how Richard
I just
got it.
don't remember. There's so many beers. I just don't remember. So I could see where he's saying herbs de Provence. Yeah, I get that. The lavender, I'm curious how that held up. And he is saying it's a 6-month life on this. Well, they gave it a 6-month date. So
No,
being,
sounds about right.
This is almost fucking 3
But
years
it's
old. Richard.
9.
Congratulations.
It's a 9% beer, though.
It's 8.3. So
8.3,
we're close
you're
there.
right.
We're close
Yeah,
there.
we're
Very
off.
close. Very close.
Close.
You know, listen, hand grenades and horseshoes down the end of the table.
Before I even smell it or
8,
taste
9.
it, I'm going to tell you a couple of things about this beer.
there. One, taste. I'm smelling a lot of malt.
Just
A
look
lot
at
of bay leaves.
Just
I'm
looking
smelling
at it.
a lot of the bay leaves.
Cloudy.
Yeah.
Carbonation. Still
Yeah.
has carbonation.
It still has carbonation.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Am I crazy?
You are. Well, you are. But I see. There's definitely
I feel like the lavender's there. It's in the nose.
in the nose. You're catching lavender.
I'm getting all bay leaves, dude, on the nose.
I was going to say the
A
hardier,
lot of Bailey.
the
lot of bay.
hardier of the herbs, which will include bay and probably is there rosemary in this one?
That is in herbs de Provence, right?
Oh, that might be the rosemary I'm catching, too.
It's lavender, marjoram, and bay leaves.
Oh, no.
I would think that rosemary would also be. Anyway,
The lavender's still there in the,
Fair.
in the
lavender
background.
is the
I'm getting
softest of them. That's probably going to be the first thing that.
Lavender's in the finish in a
Yes.
very nice way.
Very nice one.
Wow.
I'm not mad at that. That
I'm
held
not
up.
mad at
That
this
held
at
up.
all.
That
Sounded
held up very
nice.
nicely.
The hops would probably not have held up if there were hops.
Right. It needs food. Ryan Horner made a great point.
Mm.
It needs. Is there? Yes. It's
A nice
yes, it needs
chicken
food.
would
There's a
go
honey taste
very
in there.
well with
Honey.
this.
Richard says honey.
Tell me you don't get that honey.
I get them. Yeah.
A nice
I just
roasted chicken with this would go fantabulous.
I get your honey, Richard.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finish there a little bit.
Hmm.
Oh, that's nice.
I like that.
That is nice.
That is
Inspired by the
nice.
fields of Provence, this saison is brewed with a bounty of fresh herbs to give it a floral nose and a unique dry spice. I'll give it that.
So I did have this beer on tap at the Rehoboth tasting room.
Nice.
Yeah, I had this on tap too when it
This
came
is
out.
not the same as what I
Of
remember,
course, can't be.
but 3 years old. This beer is holding up pretty nice.
Real
Or it
nice,
turned into
yeah.
something
much,
cool.
much better than
We're talking.
what I would have expected.
I
I
can't
think it's
even
turned
give
into
it
something very cool, maybe.
3.5. I'll give it
There's-
like 2 1/3.
This may even
and
be
2/3, I
one
should
of the last Dogfish beers I actually sold. If you look at the bottling date,
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. This is fantastic though.
Yeah.
They make such
Rob took samples and gave them to Richard.
I may have. You know
not
what?
Possible.
That could be
Yeah,
possible.
maybe.
That
To
could be
drink on a
possible.
show, and I put them
Maybe.
away and then forgot about them because they were under a bunch of
Now
beers.
that you say that, yeah, that's very
Does that
possible
make
that I
sense?
could have. Yeah, because I was selling.
The
I was
show was
still working
going.
at Hunterdon during this
I
time.
read a lot of Nate the Great when I was a kid.
Did you?
I'm a super
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't
That
know
makes
any
sense.
of
You
that
would have handed me a couple
Figured you were going
beers.
to say
to bring
Nancy
them to-
Drew.
The Hardy Boys. The Hardy Boys and Nate the Great. That was my jam back in the day. That and Choose Your Own Adventures. And my adventure right now is put this beer in my face.
I love the nose on it, man. I like the way that the bay leaves are like right out there in front.
Yeah.
That is nice, man.
It
That's
smells
really
like food.
that really makes
Yeah.
me want to go home and cook something, dude. To
Yeah.
tell you the truth, I'm like, man, I can go for a nice chicken or something with this.
I agree.
Brian Horner's so smart. Now that I smell this, I'm thinking,
Yep.
I would love to be taking a bite of food right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, totally.
I would love something.
I
Yeah.
wanted to have like a copious amount of pepper, like black pepper.
Yeah,
to go
yeah,
With it.
yeah. That's nice, man. I like it.
Good work, Richard.
Well, I
Look
think
at
good
you,
work.
Richard. You
Good work,
you,
Richard.
You come up big to the table.
superb.
Nice work.
It's rare, but it happens.
It does happen every now and then.
The busted clock is right twice a
Once a
day.
day, yeah. Even a blind squirrel finds another once in a while.
It's true. That nice little bit there.
That's good, man. I'm happy with that. Nice work.
Nice work,
Did we
Richard.
kill that?
Maybe. Did we? There's a little bit left if you'd like
There's
a
a
little bit
little
more.
there for you. There's a little scotch there for you.
Scotch.
Ian.
It's good. No, an 8.3 saison held up for a couple of years.
For future reference, I think we should have a tapestry on the wall.
We
And
talked about that
did-
before we
did.
started.
I know we did, but I didn't feel like doing it. But for future reference, I think that's a good plan. I almost brought, speaking of Dogfish, I almost brought my Grateful
Is this
Dead.
our setup? This is where we're doing this?
What? I don't know.
I don't know.
What are we setting up?
We can't. I don't know what I'm setting. I feel like
Well, we're
I
gonna be
was just
setting up
saying.
here. We're gonna be sitting up here on the 16th when you're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
here.
when I'm in Florida. When I'm in La Florida.
We'll be right here.
It's a good thing I got the door code.
Just to say.
Oh God. So no, we should do a. We should do a we should do a thing behind us that isn't so white because Rob and I look like billboards sitting here in front of this white fucking screen.
Well, we
I like
wouldn't have been.
billboards.
It would have been better if we were on this goddamn bench
We're
with
sitting on-
cushions.
We're
Your
sitting
new
on a
nicknames
park
are
bench.
Billboard Baggins.
Yeah, we would have been a little lower, so you wouldn't have all of this going on right here
Right.
in front of your eyes.
No one.
I have these going on right here.
Oh gosh. Richard.
D's what, Richard?
These nuts.
There you go. That's the right
There it
answer.
is.
That is the right answer.
Oh,
Yeah, definitely the right.
Oh,
like this
I know.
beer.
No, I know what I wanted to talk about before we go. we did
ooh,
get
you
to
have a
real-
topic.
I have a definite topic.
Okay.
and it feeds into something we wanted to talk about, and
Nice.
maybe a guest that we want to get in the near future.
Nice.
So there is, Richard. I don't know if you're aware. There is a movement afoot
Okay.
in the beer world, as it were. I don't know if you're aware
I'm
that
banking on that.
that the government. I'm sure you're aware of this.
I
was
know
shut
these
down.
people.
the government
Last
has
30
been shut
days.
down for about a month.
Just reopened
Just
like yesterday.
reopened.
So if you
Duct
follow,
tape around the face, the mouth.
if you follow along, I don't know that you're aware that if you are a brewery and you want to release a new beer,
Mm.
your beer name and label has to be approved by a government agency.
TTB.
So
Yep.
if your government is shut down, you cannot get
Have a new beer.
correct. So you can imagine with 7,000 breweries now that could be a
And a
fucking
different
problem.
beer comes out every.
Yeah, I was going to
every
say, we
week.
just talked about that, right? These
That's
brewers are
caused a
doing new beer
huge
Could
problem.
be a
There has
huge
been a-
problem.
There's been a, let's call it a log jam.
It's a problem.
Sure.
Let's call it a log jam.
So, in light of the problem, an intrepid beer journalist who's been in the game for a very long time, named Stephen Beaumont, came up with just had an idea that he ended up putting on Twitter, and it ended up getting some legs. He's calling it Flagship February.
Yes.
Oh.
Seeing as how new beers can't be registered or approved, why not take the month of February and revisit flagship beers that got us to where we are today?
Here's
Now,
the problem.
wait
it's
a
not going to work
second.
now.
Now, wait a second. Oh, it will, because
It will.
it's going to take them.
We're going to
It's
shut
going
down
to
in 3
It's going
weeks.
to take them.
We're gonna shut, no, we're going to shut down in 3
Yeah,
weeks.
totally.
If anyone's listening to this before February
Oh.
15th, my prediction is at February 15th, we're
Yeah,
probably
of
going to get
course.
shut down again.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this after February 15th,
We're already shut down.
I'm either right or wrong, but I'm probably right.
Probably right. But we've been saying that for how many years about
Right.
a flagship situation. So
Absolutely.
it's actually got some legs, and it's actually become something at this point with the flagship February. So we're going to start seeing in bars.
So you're saying the hashtag crowd has suddenly figured out
Yes.
this flagship thing?
There's going to
Hashtag
be hashtag
flagship
February.
February.
I don't
So I'm
I don't know the
wondering
hashtag crowd is actually jumping onto this hashtag,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying,
if the hashtag crowd is us.
Well, this crowd's jumping in.
yeah, we will.
This
yeah.
crowd's jumping in.
So
Hashtag dad jokes.
yeah, well, I'm wondering.
Bad genes.
I would like to get him on. I would like to get him on at some
I
point
like it.
in February to discuss.
Nice.
We've already
Putting it out there?
putting it out there. We're manifesting it. Ryan Egan, what is going on over there?
February,
Yes,
the shortest of the months.
I don't know that that was done on purpose.
Which, well,
It was just
I'm shrugging my shoulders.
it was a coincidence because of
sure,
the
but
timing of
of
things.
course. But we've got don't drink in January,
Dry January, they call it. We call it No Fun February.
no fun February,
If you
which is
wanna
a
do it.
thing.
That
makes
because
more
it's a short.
sense.
Would you
pick
pick
the shortest month?
Why
Why
don't
not
you
short-
do it in January? You're an asshole if you did it.
But I feel like we're in this position with like,
We need themes to drink or not drink.
yeah,
I agree with you.
it's
Well, that's the world we live in now.
That's the world we live in. Every day's got to have a hashtag. Rise and grind. Motivation
Tuesday.
Monday, Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, I feel like every day.
Wednesday.
I feel like every day
Yeah.
needs a hashtag. It should be a hashtag.
Every day, yeah. Jesus Christ.
I'm waiting for it, and this makes no sense. I just made it up.
Jesus.
Thursday's a Thursday, and
What?
it seems like it's gonna be
Thirsty Thursday. It's Throwback Thursday.
Thursday is a Thursday. That makes just as much sense.
Someone's had too many saisons. Can't see on the camera, but on the other side of the door, there's a lot of head shaking. And head scratching going on. Thursday. Are you a cowboy? You got your those are Spurs. My
Those are
bad.
Spurs, yeah.
He's really feeling his way.
No, I'm just kind of like
Feeling good today.
He's
He
displeased.
is officially in the chair.
He's displeased.
the short chair.
Chair is in him. You are the short chair.
But anyway, go ahead and circle back.
Oh, we're talking about flagship February, which we've been screaming about for
Yes.
years.
Right. So
About
what should people
revisiting.
drink on flagship February?
Well, if
Throw
you-
them
If
out.
they're drinking it
What-
all because it could be dry
Yeah.
February.
Fuck those people. So the people that are
Television.
drinking, what should everybody have?
so
We drinking
Sierra
Sierra Nevada
Nevada
Pale
Sierra
Ale.
Nevada Pale Ale,
Should be
Okay.
drinking Stone IPA.
Stone IPA,
Should be drinking Dogfish,
Dogfish
60 minute.
60 minute, Yards Philly Pale Ale,
Yards Philly Pale Ale.
Harpoon,
Harpoon IPA. Nice one.
Allagash White,
Yes.
Dumont.
Lefin Dumont.
That's a
Dumont
good
Brew
one,
is
too.
Perfect.
Was
Nice.
beautiful French from you.
Thank
Beautiful
you.
French.
Perfect.
Bells.
Bells. What's
Two
Two
Hearted.
Hearted?
Hearted.
Yeah.
Bells Two Hearted. Victory.
Prima Pills.
Hose lager.
Prima Pills, for the love of God, you bastards.
Prima Pills for our
Right, Prima
boy.
Pills.
For our boy.
Von Trapp
And
fan.
we're not getting into
Damn it. We'll bring him on and we'll talk about that at
Von
some
Trapp
point.
fan. What's their flagship?
They're all the flagship, really. Who else? Do we say Trogs? What are we doing with
No,
Trogs?
Trogs.
What would be the Hopback Amber? But I don't know that
Trogs
they.
Hopback, yeah, but they
But you
don't-
go Perpetual.
Yeah, go Perpetual at that
That's
point.
the way to go.
Or you go Troganator.
You go Troganator.
It's
old
cold
school.
weather.
You go.
Why not
you
a
go, you go
Troganator?
Oscar Blues, Dale's Pale.
Yeah.
Let's say that
Yeah,
you
sure.
animals had a Dale's Pale, for the love of
I had
God.
one the other day.
I had one not too long ago.
Like you
Probably
two.
the
When I
last
say
6
you
months.
animals, I mean anyone that may or may not be listening. Because everybody's standing in line for things. They should just go drink an Oscar Blues and see where we
You
are.
know what we should have did? It's a shame you didn't bring the Zoom today.
Yeah.
We should have went out with the Zoom.
Oh,
We
no.
did a tasting room while everybody was in here going nuts for
No.
powder days
No.
and all this stuff and say, hey, when was the last time you had an Oscar
Yeah.
Blues?
An Oscar De La Hoya.
Excuse me.
We're not harassing the customers here.
Our customers will not be harassed.
Would you guys like to go to live podcast?
Good point, Richard. Solid point.
That'd be great.
You know how many times
We'll
on
do
radio
it.
I had?
We'll do it at a fish line.
Yeah,
Do you guys still have any of this
When they
beer?
may or may not be our
Do you guys
customers.
still have the
Yeah.
beer de Province in your glass?
I
Yeah.
do.
It's warmed up slightly.
Yes.
I'm catching a little bit of lemon at this point,
I am too.
which may or may not be from the hops.
Oh yeah, I buy that.
It has warmed up.
But the-
It's a
It-
slightly warmed
it
up
goes-
situation.
It goes side by side with that honey. that Richard-
I think so too.
Do you
yes.
catch that,
I
or
agree with
you're
that.
okay? Yeah, I
I
do too.
still love the way that the bay leaves is like right there, man. I really like the way that it's kind of laid itself into the beer. It's very nice.
That's good.
Very, very nice.
That's fun. That's fun. Well, speaking of
I
our
like
government,
that.
well, what do we think? What do we
Speaking
think?
of our
What do we,
government,
what do
are we
we
gonna
think
get into
about
a beer
no,
soap
no, we're not.
politics?
Or do we want to? What
I
do we
don't
think?
know.
What do we think about Flagship February? I'm in.
I'm in.
it's a great
I think
thing.
that's brilliant.
Should we
I'm
try to
in.
get? Should we try to get Stephen Beaumont on the show?
Hell yeah.
I think we should.
You better make it fast.
Oh, well, we don't have much time. We're
Or
already.
else
We're
I'm
already.
going to get pissed.
We already. We already.
Can't you hear the music pumping hard?
Oh no! Don't ever do that. I don't want him to ever do a French accent. I never want you to rap Salt and Pepper ever. My goodness, what have we done here?
We're having fun.
Is that what this?
We're having ourselves a high time.
Yeah, sure, sure.
All
Right.
right.
Where's the water?
Yeah, I love how my water became
No
our
water, no water.
Every way to clean their glass.
Well, in the
It's my favorite nose of the day, by the way.
yeah, it's crazy,
Oh, it's
right?
fantastic. Yes.
So you rinse the glass and then you drink the water, which keeps you kind of even keeled. That's the idea.
I know, but
noticed
the
you're
water-
dumping the water. I don't know why you'd be dumping water.
I cleaned my glass out for
Right.
what we're doing next,
Right,
but
so
that
what
was
I do
supposed to
is I
be
clean-
my water to
I clean the glass
consume.
out. Well, if you'd clean your
So
glass
I wouldn't
out and then,
have to do that. That's what I'm trying to do.
and then you consume the water and
I just want to consume my water without everyone else taking it.
you're doing just fine. So there's another beer on the table that we should probably open, the Space Force. Speaking of our government,
I'm excited about this one.
didn't the leader of the free world make Richard? You know better than I because I don't follow any of this.
The leader of the free
Didn't he
world.
make a proclamation about a space force at some point?
We will be building a space force.
This I know you're a sci-fi guy, you're
Is
a
that
government
along with the
guy, you're
wall?
a politics guy.
I'm not against the concept. I mean,
Okay.
the Air Force handles it now.
I feel like
So
This is
all the
something
problems
that-
we have in the world.
countries all over the world are laughing at us.
Seriously.
Those are his words.
Well, they're laughing at
For
him.
what
because he's a
reason?
moron.
I don't know. No. It has to do with our obsolete.
Oh boy.
He
Yeah,
is-
yeah,
he's
I want
on-
everybody to
he's on
notice.
the verge.
We didn't
He's
get to
on
the
the
dark
verge of getting it on.
um,
It's on a roll. It's on a
music,
roll.
right?
Let him keep going.
We didn't get to the dark side of the moon. China did. This knucklehead let China get to the dark side of the moon before us.
Aren't all sides of the moon the dark side of the moon?
No.
Okay.
And the dark side of the moon is really the dark side.
Richard, I feel like I saw you on the dark side of the moon.
Did you? I believe that.
Good God. So I used the term "our friends" earlier to talk about our Stillwater,
But these are
and we don't know them,
these are-
but we do know Eight and Sand. And speaking of future episodes, we're
Coming.
gonna do an episode at Eight and Sand, and they're the ones.
figuring
who,
out a date.
That's
have
another
brewed
episode
this
that no one else at the
Space
table besides
Force.
me and Ryan Egan have put together.
That's not true. That's not true.
They've brewed the Space Force
Love to
New
see it.
England double IPA with Galaxy hops. I get it. 8%. Jesus.
Nice.
Oh,
Okay.
Hello.
Wow.
Look
I
at
like
Richard,
the
look at
artwork.
Richard washing down his Cheez-Its real quick so he can get himself a little sip of
Fresh
that.
taste.
Taste. So I assume that the Space Force is in reference to the president of the United States
Yeah, but-
proclaiming that we need a force in space.
Yes.
So
I'm not sure he knows where space is.
I don't know a whole lot about anything that's going on.
I like that the
bought
oxygen tank on his back
It's a sixtel.
is
It's
a
a
sixtel.
sixtel.
Fucking
tank.
awesome.
It's
Inverted.
fucking pretty
Yeah,
cool.
and the
In
beer's
person.
coming
Yeah,
out of it.
yeah,
It's
it's
a very
in-
cool. That's where I took a picture of it. It's very cool
pretty fucking
artwork.
cool.
Very cool artwork. They did a nice job with that.
All right, let me get in here. Oh, it's definitely hazy.
Shit. That
No
is
doubt
fucking
about
good.
that. Looks like orange juice.
Oh man, that's good. What's the ABV on that? 8%? I feel like it's 8%.
That is 8%
Okay.
by volume, my
Gotcha.
friend.
Wow.
52 IBUs.
Really?
Richard, what are IBUs?
Something to do with the bitterness.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
International.
International bitter
Bittering.
units.
There you go. That's it. Yeah.
And this is only 52.
A lot of dry hop,
I feel like
which is difficult to give
quantify.
to quantify and get a real.
That's why the nose is so hoppy.
Yes.
Egan's going quantify.
I said it. Yeah. He's right. He's right because there's no like. I feel like
There's no
there should be-
calculation that holds up right now.
Right. That should
They
be
can't figure
far
that out.
more than 52.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
No.
But no. Because
No.
it's not bitter.
It's not bitter.
It's not bitter.
You're getting all the
It's-
aromatics.
yeah, it's
which
a-
is exactly what dry hopping
It's
is.
probably right there at 52 bitter units when you hold it up against
Yeah.
something else that has.
No, I agree.
I just.
I don't know, that's pretty bitter.
But it has to do with perception. It's all about perception.
I agree with that. Yeah.
It's a very strange, weird
God
mathematical thing
damn,
that
that's
that
good.
takes place.
Yeah, like I feel like it's more juicy than it is bitter. Like I feel like all the hops you're getting on it is the aromatics of it.
there's some bitter there.
No, it's there, but I'm saying I see that it's 52.
Yeah. I mean, like when you hit 100 IBUs,
Yeah.
it's like, oh,
Right.
Oh, wait, okay. So
But
what's 100? Just a reference.
I
I
think
need
that's
beer
the
that's
top.
hot.
120 minutes actually 100.
100
Yeah.
minutes. Yeah. So like
But I would not
not
call
agree with
120 minute
hoppy,
bitter.
bitter, right?
I wouldn't call it bitter. It's holding
Yeah,
up.
but if you
it's
get it
sherry,
fresh.
it's holding up to the yeah.
When
When
you
So,
get
what
it
is-
right when it's
you
yeah.
get it off the.
What's an example of something?
I'm
that's
saying
a
like you
90?
get it within like 30 days of it being.
It's a great question because that was
Richard, I
hold
don't
on.
even know.
15 years ago. We
Yes.
could have given you an answer.
I agree with you.
15 years ago, people would have cared enough to know, like, oh, I've got an 80 IBU beer.
I have an example.
That's a number I care about.
I have an example.
I don't know who
There was a brewery.
I
There was
love
a,
that you're staring at the screen and you're like, I have an
I
example.
know, yeah, why was I doing that?
I have a thought.
There's only 2 people watching. I just want you to know that.
Today,
I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm going to go to the bathroom after I say this. But speaking of IBUs, there was a beer that caused some controversy amongst beer dorks in like
Beer dorks.
2012, 13, made by McKellar.
Nice.
It was called 1000 IBU IPA. And as you can imagine, 2013 was still kind of very technically the Wild West was as far as social
Wild
media
West was coming to an end.
and as far as craft beer. So people were screaming, there's no such thing as 1000 IBU. The human body can only detect 100. Right, yeah, we know, dude. It's a fucking joke. It's a joke. So 1000 IBU is not a thing. It's
No.
not- but they did it kind of as a tongue-in-cheek, and it was McKellar.
It doesn't go up to 11.
doesn't,
It only
no.
goes to 100.
It only goes to 100. And even that, I don't know how perceptible
No,
100 even
it-
is.
It actually goes beyond 100,
Does
but
it?
you can't.
You
human
can't
palate
perceive.
Yeah, you can't
has
even.
difficulty perceiving anything beyond.
I'm trying to remember.
And I can't
What was the
imagine
IBUs.
I can't imagine the difference between like 85 and 100 being like, oh, this is
no,
85.
no,
It's
no.
the same.
You're absolutely
What
right.
was the IBUs on Palette Wrecker by Green Flash?
I remember there was a race back then,
Yeah.
2014.
It's like an
13,
arms
14,
race.
It was
the
a race.
The IBU arms race of
to be
like
the highest.
the
Ah!
the
A race to be the highest.
As he's shoving Jesus down his throat like a fucking champ.
Well, listen, after what he shoved down his throat earlier, I think he's starting.
That's why he's eating.
hard,
That's why
hungry.
he's eating Jesus right now.
Hungry.
The munchies are killing me
A
right
lot
now.
of milligrams over there.
I love for the people that are watching this.
That person
is-
is probably DC Nick.
is
That is probably doing his chores and just left it on and forgot we're even here.
I just love the
washing
fact
dishes,
that we always
taking
joke.
taking a dump.
Vacuuming, showering, washing his balls.
I just love that we always joke because Richard's supposedly somebody now, and now everyone's actually watching the podcast go on, and all he's doing is sitting here shoveling Jesus down his throat while the 3 of us are talking beer.
Sounds about right.
No, I saw what he ate before we
Oh,
started.
I saw it too.
No, but-
I saw it too.
But
I had this handy.
but we would not be on this thread about IBUs had Richard not asked the question about.
He's right. Yeah, it's true.
It's true.
And
He
it's a
drifted off
it is-
though as we were talking.
Sure, but he was receiving the information we were providing.
I didn't wait for the
No,
His
I didn't wait for the
Drops
answer.
and runs.
his transmitter was receiving.
Yeah,
Oh,
He was-
boy. But meanwhile,
Those are
I
two new beer
use.
names. It's transmitter and receiver.
I feel like Transmitter's name of a brewery. We've drank that a bunch
Yeah.
of times.
Oh, right.
Transmitter makes great.
I was
beer.
thinking about it the other
You
day.
can't name a beer.
No, you can't do that.
But I,
You can't do
that's
that.
how Condenser came out. Like I was just like,
Yeah.
I literally looked at the diagram of a record
I gotta.
It's like I just want to name beers after them.
I am gonna say.
Oh, I can't.
I'm curious.
together.
I'm curious. After Richard pulled this goddamn dogfish beer
The
out of his
Saison?
ass,
Yeah.
I know he brought one more beer, and now I'm fucking for
I
once.
did.
I am curious to
Oh,
see
it's-
what else he brought
It's
don't
from
remember what
a place near and dear to your heart.
to my
Don't
heart.
open that.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that one. Yeah, that can be open because I looked at what's
Yeah,
in
yeah.
there.
yeah. Not the
Don't
one from
open
Taylor. That's from Taylor.
The Big John?
Yeah,
What?
Yeah.
Why did he bring that? We
He-
both have those.
he visited there and he brought it
Oh,
back. He's
that
been
one. We
living
don't
in
have
here
those.
forever.
Okay, we don't have those.
You don't have that.
Yeah, we don't have that.
That completes the set.
That does complete the set for a further episode.
Yeah,
that
yeah. We will have to do-
that is in the works.
We will have to do like a formal, like a Fever Craft Beer formal. Where we all wear fucking ties.
No,
and
no,
shit,
tuxes.
tuxes
He's
and shit.
gonna wear a T-shirt that looks like it's
Tux.
Your tux. Oh, that's me.
I
He's
know
gonna
exactly what
shovel
he's.
cheese and
Absolutely.
what's going on.
Over
I
red
will-
carpet.
I will tie my own bow tie,
I
and
will
you guys
not.
will look at me and you'll be like, "How did you do that so quickly?" And I'll be like,
I ask you that every day. There's not any other thing. There's
"What?
nothing
How did I
to do with
tie my
bow
bow tie so quickly?"
But I'm curious, what did he bring to the table? He brought something legit. You're
He
saying.
did. He did actually.
He brought a stone beer.
He
It's
did.
been aged. That has been aged.
He did actually.
He
I'm
brought a
actually,
stone
I'm actually,
beer.
I'm actually kind of on the edge of my seat. to
Did
try
he
it.
liberate that from me?
I don't think so.
It's a large format.
No,
It's
I bought it when it was fresh,
22
and now-
ounce.
and
I'm
now
gonna
it's
go to the
hanging out.
bathroom
Okay.
and I'm gonna grab it.
I may
Yeah.
have to do the same.
Oh, are we gonna leave these two to it?
Yeah, sure.
Jesus
We
Christ.
got this.
Oh my
Me and Egan are
God.
gonna go out in the other room and
Well,
rendezvous.
I'm gonna let somebody go first.
I'm gonna go. I'm
So
gonna grab the beer. I'm gonna let the radio professional.
Oh,
Ralph Forzik-
I can't wait to hear
Ah,
this. It's gonna be
wait.
me talking the whole time.
no way. He's a professional.
professional.
Listen,
All
I
right.
heard his radio show.
I'm gonna back
I
off
was
the
on a
mic.
2-hour radio show with Richard.
You guys
Just
managed to
last
say
weekend.
nothing.
So I've been getting a gentleman into the Allman Brothers.
Oh, nice.
And into improv
Okay.
music.
All right.
So what I did was I gave him Whipping Post from 4 generations of Whipping Post.
Okay. So you
So-
gave him what? Like
I
what?
gave him Live to Fillmore.
Okay.
I gave him was that from Second Set, I think, or the
Yes.
the Warren Haynes
Yeah.
album.
Yeah. Okay.
That's where Alan Woody's playing that big 18-string bass,
Yep.
which
Yep.
just
Yep.
sounds
Yep. Yep.
amazing.
12 string. Yep.
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 I gave him one from the new lineup,
With O'Teal.
O'Teal, and I
Okay.
gave him one from the lineup that had Dan Toller, so the late 70s.
Yes.
The one that nobody really liked because they made that bad record.
Lamar Williams on bass.
Yes.
Probably. Okay. All right.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
No, after Lamar, the guy after him, the guy, the white dude, after he died.
Yeah. Who was he?
Yeah, I cannot
Yeah,
think his
think of
name.
All right.
But that's also a really good version.
Yeah.
That's a great so but to hear what the same song sounds like across, you're hearing the different ways that people can improvise, or
Correct.
different lengths, or
Okay.
it's absolute, you get the premise that these are, different, the same song done differently each time.
Yes.
Just by looking at the length of the song, you can tell.
Correct.
One's like 9 minutes, one's like 18 minutes, one's
Right.
12 minutes, one's 7 or whatever.
What did this person deter out of all of this?
Exactly what I thought. He's like, wow, it's hard to believe that one song can sound so different
Each time.
in the same band each time, right?
Well, because you had a couple
In that
different
case,
players.
He had a bunch of different players, but then so my next thing was do it with him with Fish.
Okay.
So I gave him 4 Fish stashes
From
different eras.
multiple years.
From multiple years, right?
Okay.
Just listen to
Any
the song.
particularly off the top of your
I
head that
gave
you
the
know?
one right up from the first Fish Live album, the one that we all had, the one that from the
Slip, Stitch, and Pass?
no before that, the first one with the live
Um,
album called. You know what I'm talking about? Came out in like '96 or '95.
That was Slip, Stitch.
No, before that. It's the one before that. It's the one that has that. It's the one that has that really
Was it
good
called a live
Talk
one?
Just Torture. Called a live one. Yeah.
Oh,
live
yeah,
one.
yeah,
I
yeah.
gave him one
I
off
remember
the live
JR
one.
had the shirt. Remember JR had the shirt?
Yeah, sure. And 3 from just random shows.
Okay. All right.
Through
Cool.
different eras. So
Okay.
one through the
Yeah.
the Cow Funk era, one through now, and one maybe 5 years ago. And they're all completely different. I mean, it's amazing how different. Oh, and one of the stashes I grabbed was from 03, the first time they came back for the first breakup,
Okay.
for the first hiatus.
Okay.
Like I said, one from the Cow Funk period and one from
All right.
nowish.
All right.
And again, he was amazed how different. Now this is the same band, but it hasn't changed.
Now, how many
members.
years did you stretch it out? Like
So
through
the first
the
live one is
actual-
95,
Yep.
and the newest one was 18, maybe.
Okay.
0.0.
Nice. I like that.
We're right at 2 hours on the nose.
All right.
Nice.
0 people are following.
So we now know
Um,
how long people's attention span is.
Not 2 hours.
Not.
I figure we'll open this last beer and call it a day.
All right.
It's
good.
now fucking 3:30 in the
Um,
afternoon, which I already said I'd be home by 3:30.
Richard, I think that is an interesting thing to do, and I hope
Boy.
I kind of feel like maybe we should all do that with each other.
I'd love to do that across the board. Yeah.
Explain
Like pick
it to
out
me
our
later.
yes, we will, because we're not going to go back
Yeah, I don't
and
care.
forth on this.
I don't care.
But
But
just was
I think
how
I don't
different improv can be if you take the one band and take the same song through time
Huh,
and
good
just
Yeah.
hear how different the jams.
but it would be interesting for us all to pick our own favorite,
yeah.
right?
And bring multiple versions.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we feed it to each other. Like I'll give you my 4 whatever,
Yes.
right? You give me your 4 that you think, and he
Yep.
gives me his 4.
All from the same band?
Yeah.
All for the same
The
band.
same song, same jam. Like it's, but you know,
Gotcha.
Started
the
with
essence of
Whipping
how it's
Post, and then we
changed.
went on to Stash.
yeah. No, I think that's an interesting point. The one thing I will say is I'm glad that we're gonna. I see what's going on here.
Well, to your point, someone sent me a video very recently, over the past couple months, right before the holidays, actually. Someone sent me a video, basically Bertha through the years.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, this is kind of
Exactly
what we're
what
just
I
talking
what
about.
so it was Bertha from like 70 through like 86.
Yes,
Big
and it
swath
was
of
just the 16 bar lead.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It wasn't the whole song, and it's a video on YouTube.
That's neat.
It's awesome
Right.
to see how it where
I
it
did it
started
with a
and where
buddy
it
with
was
whole
awesome.
songs. First,
Yeah,
I did
he
Whipping
did it.
Post,
Yeah,
did
that's
the
a,
Allman Brothers with different lineups, and then I did Stash from Fish. Obviously, same band, same lineup, just
Yeah.
different eras.
Right.
But how different one song can be
Yeah.
within the same
Yeah,
band.
the Bertha one is amazing, and I was
Yeah.
it's like 15 minutes long.
I
It's
gotta check that
absolutely worth every minute of it.
Sure.
Just because like it does the same portion of the song
Right.
through the years.
You're
and
right
it's
in there,
amazing, and the tones are so different, and the ideas are so different from
Yeah.
front to back. It's awesome. Very, very cool idea.
yeah. I
But
think
you know, you
I
can
think we
play
should
that
definitely
same
play it.
game with a band like Fish within the same couple tours.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hear closer, just how different one song can be
Yeah.
within 5 nights later when they play it again, or
Right.
10 nights later when they play
That's
it again.
pretty cool.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
I'm looking across the table here. I see what we're gonna
You
open.
remember we had this before? We had it when it first came out.
Yes, we did. But my friend,
my friend.
no one heard it because you lost the audio.
Wait, is that we did that on?
We opened that and I poured it at Atlantic City Beer Fest
Oh,
last year.
right.
And funny
Coming.
enough,
Coming.
while we're on the topic of Atlantic City Beer Fest,
Fantastic.
JR,
That's me.
I want you to feel good about this.
I can feel good.
I have decided.
You've decided.
I've decided.
Okay.
I've decided.
Was I involved in the decision?
You were involved in the decision. I threw it at you, and you were like, "Yeah, I'm down."
Oh, I know what you're gonna say. Okay.
So, if anybody's listening to this, which no one is,
No one
we
is.
are going to be doing the podcast live at the Stone Brewing booth
Right.
Yes.
during the 2019 Atlantic City Beer and Music
And
Festival this year.
Correct.
I figured it was a good way for us to kind of stay together
Yes.
and an easier way for me to be involved with it.
Battery dying. Am I plugged in? I'm not.
I don't know.
Hmm.
So
You could
yes,
just plug that computer in.
anybody that's listening, when you are on
See the white
Podcast
cord?
Row,
Yes, we'll be at that. There is a podcast.
we will
Row.
not be on Podcast Row. We will be at the Stone Brewing booth.
Extravaganza.
Right. And it is going to be a high time for everyone to be there.
That's gonna be a neat spot to be.
Yes.
And then I'm sure we'll do a little cross talking with Podcast Row.
How we did that. I mean, I know.
A little cross pollination with Podcast Row. I'm sure there'll be.
Yeah, they get people to come down.
They'll
And,
us, listen to people
And
there.
we're gonna get some breweries that come on. The one thing that's gonna be cool is we're gonna have
Absolutely.
Trogs. We're gonna have Trogs Brewing again, like we did last year for our booth, right
Right.
behind us. So we'll be able to get some people from Trogs on.
I think that
Iron
our
Allagash will be right across from us. So we'll get some
Allagash,
people.
Trogs,
Dogfish will be right
Dogfish,
there.
all of our
Yards
booths.
will be right there. So
Uh,
we're gonna have some access.
Maybe a
So
cider company.
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, we got a lot of things. I'm gonna start planting the seeds.
Yeah. Well, Toad, obviously.
Yeah.
I think we should tell them Ryan to look that up.
I don't
Why are we whispering?
I don't know if Ryan Egan's gonna be able to be on the show.
He will.
He'll be at the
He'll be very busy.
But yes, so anybody that's listening to this, if you are going or you're planning on going to the Atlantic City Beer and Music Festival, we will be live and direct. There you go, Richard. Never mind.
Dennis Leary.
We will be
Dennis
live.
Leary sang that song. I know that song.
Yeah,
We
that's
will
a good
be
one.
live and direct from the Stone Brewing booths.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah,
It'll be
good.
fun with all
with
of
that-
our friends.
And
Target
with
Bastard
that, we are.
And we're going to try to
cracking.
get John Henderson on. From,
Yes, we're going to get John Henderson on. He already knows that we're going to be at my booth. So
Yeah, we had
I'm
him on
very
last
excited.
year, and we fucked it up.
Yep.
Because Richard's an S. Oh,
He's an
S-O.
Eolio.
I was, gentlemen, I was
That
really
is when
drunk.
you actually know the song that you
Yes.
Yeah, that was good.
I was really drunk,
Oh, stop it.
and I was ready to cry. Even drunk, I was like looking at. I remember
I
looking
was
at the
the
computer like,
sickest I've ever been in my life. Oh, yes.
ah.
That's such a mess. We're not even going to talk about it. It was a disaster.
And I'm not gonna divulge any info or
Welcome
anything.
to episode 104.
I am hoping and praying that we
Right.
may.
Oh,
have,
we're back to one listener.
We may
one
have a special guest
Okay.
Oh,
from Stone Brewing on the show live.
Oh, nice.
So we'll find that out more as the details come about.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, cool. That'll
Yep.
be fun.
Yeah.
So what do we have here? 10.5%.
So here we
Savages.
have the totalitarian
You guys are killing me.
Imperial Russian Stout that we just put out this year, or last year. This year, it's actually funny that Richard brought this because this year we are actually doing an espresso version of this beer.
Oh, wow.
oh,
So that'll be coming out. I think we may pour this in Atlantic City as well.
Okay. Try to try to grip it a little bit. Try to grip it. You want it to kind of be a little warmer than it is because it's sitting in the
yeah.
in the cold. box
Also,
for
too,
about an
you know
hour.
what? I should say this too.
Oh, go ahead.
You will say this.
I am actually doing. I'm hoping to have some, like I said, some opportunity of having some people from the brewery in, but I will be doing
I love
a
that glass.
very special,
Fuck, I love that glass.
a hashtag very special Stone
yes.
Brewing dinner
Yes.
Oh,
I heard this was
at
happening.
Guy Fieri's
I heard this was
Chop
happening.
House
Yes.
Ooh.
at Bally's
Yes.
the night before Atlantic City Beer Fest. And this beer will be featured during the dessert course of that dinner.
With the espresso or
Will
It'll
craft
be
your planet.
this version. It'll
Hold
be
on.
the
Boy, here comes
2018.
Richard.
I got a question.
I love the question. Richard's questions
I know what he's
lead
gonna.
us down dark
I'm
holes.
gonna predict the future. He's gonna ask a question, and then Rob is gonna snap his neck and look directly at me. Richard, the floor is yours.
Got it. Will we be broadcasting from Guy Fieri's place the night before?
No, probably
That was a little quick. I was kind of hoping you'd go maybe.
Didn't even, now he's looking at me. I can feel it.
not. Well, no, because
No,
here's
we
the-
can't. We can't.
Well, because
We can't. There's so many
That was
moving
a
parts.
little
I mean,
So many
Richard,
people
if you
involved.
want to pay the money and be there and throw the Zoom down on the
Oh, I don't
table.
have to- what, am I paying?
Well, no, I would think your company's going to pay for you.
That's what I'm saying.
We'll talk about that.
Here we
I'm
got
sure they
two
will.
people.
I'm just gonna slide it. I'm not gonna eat. I'm just gonna hang.
I'm sure they're going to.
Let's say we hang in
But the bottom line is,
Take
What's the
it
ticket
out of
price
the
on the?
equation.
What's the ticket
I don't
price?
know.
$140.
No, I think it's
I don't
$75.
feel like
Just
that's-
flash the
No,
goes.
I was gonna say $75.
$360.
Was he saying?
I think it's 75. I don't know for sure. I think
Yes.
75.
It's
I was gonna say-
75.
I was gonna say 75.
This
But I
No, not
Richard, I'm just going to give you this.
We know a guy. We can't get it.
There is a reason why I'm going to tell you no.
Okay.
There's many reasons.
Because
you don't wash.
that's
You're
one.
an unwashed Philistine.
That's what-
That's one.
Don't wash.
Because
Back to zero.
if I don't get what I'm asking for this affair,
Uh-huh.
I am the one running the whole thing.
That's exciting.
So there is no way that I can run the whole thing and also do a podcast, correct?
True. I think you'd be sitting
Unless
there
you
and
wanna-
we'd have to have him sit in your spot for
Right,
a while.
I mean,
We'd watch you run
and
around
like I
crazy.
said,
Ryan Egan's not gonna be available.
if you would
I
have,
got other stuff.
he's got,
What
yeah,
the
he's not going to
fuck?
be available. It's the night before. He's going to be
You
driving
think
beer
me and him
down.
could do a
and-
podcast by ourselves again?
Imagine
Jesus
that, Richard.
Christ.
Imagine that.
How about this? You and Richard
Yeah.
in tuxedos,
No tuxedos.
Or tuxedo t-shirt.
Tuxedo
black
t-shirts.
tie affair
Yeah.
at my dinner. Look at Jake. He's like, oh yeah. At my dinner, with the Zoom on the table while I present
I think it's
and
great.
do my thing.
I think it's brilliant. That's what we have to do. We have to get tuxes.
Oh, can he please? I'm saying he.
There's
Can
so many
Richard
moving
please
parts.
be the Charlie Day character of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with the tuxedo T-shirt, and he's like, "How much cheese is too much cheese? I ate a lot of cheese. I love cheese."
I find it disturbing that you equate freedom with a piece of cheese the size of a car battery.
You know what I love is Richard's going to work in about 3 hours.
Yep.
Yeah. I can't
Which
say
leads
Look
me
at Jake's face.
Which leads me to believe we should probably fold this up.
Stop at work.
Yeah, he is at work. Where did you get that glass? That is my favorite all-time beer glass that I don't own because I'm a huge
Richard's
fan
going
of
to
It's a sample.
God.
Be like the printing company.
running
FCC
FCC thing.
Grandstand.
Like federal
Fuck.
They're trying to sell the 360.
Richard's
That is
going to work.
awesome. God damn it, that was a great glass.
It usually holds my paper clips.
Nice.
Fun story.
So hey, if you're listening to us
This
And-
has
and-
all been
and
wonderful.
you're still here,
No one is
here.
still here.
Well, no one's watching this, but people could be possibly listening to this episode.
They could be checking out later. It is a
And
podcast.
they might have made it this far.
And here's the thing: if you could go on whatever device or system that you're listening to us on and give us a rating, that would really help us out. It would really help us out a lot.
Did we talk
So
about this beer?
we didn't. No.
We didn't. All right, just making sure. We talked about it being 10.5% alcohol.
Well, I said it
but
was
did we
the.
say we're drinking the
no, I said-
totalitarian
I
Imperial
did
Russian
say
ale?
that.
Then we kicked ourselves out of the room
We
when we
yeah.
decided that Richard had to go to work.
I said that we were drinking the
Right,
2018
right,
version
right.
of the totalitarian
Oof, it's a
Imperial
mouthful.
Russian Stout, and I said that we were doing an espresso version of that beer this year.
According to
2019.
According to this, Ralph Warzik, you'll struggle for headway against the dark beast in your hand.
I would agree.
One freedom fighting sip at a time.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of work. Who writes these on the back of these stone things? Do you have any idea?
Blaine Bennis.
That could be a
Good
question that we could have
answer,
for a
Richard.
certain future guest if we
Alright.
see him in Atlantic City.
Okay, that'd be cool.
All right. So
Spirit comes
if you're
from the
listening to us and on any platform, we would love it if you could give us a rating. It would be awesome. You can give us a 5, you can give us a 2, give us a 0. We really don't give a fuck.
What
here's
$5
the deal.
bucks?
But here's the deal: if you give us a
Helps us get a little
5, it helps the situation.
Jay sleeps better when he gets to like.
I mean, I'm
It's not
more
impossible.
I'm more happy if anyone even actually goes on and gives us anything.
or listens.
So if they give us a 1, I'm fucking
Yeah,
flabbergasted.
Let's start from the
Like-
beginning.
they actually
They
went
took
on.
the effort.
They took the effort to give us a
They
1.
took the effort.
First of all, if you just download, thank you for downloading. Start
Exactly.
there. That's a good start.
If you subscribe,
Great.
That is the next big thing, Ryan Egan, that I was just going to bring up.
okay.
That's the
If you're
key.
listening to
Can you do it
us
faster?
and you could, hit the old subscribe button, that would be awesome.
Yes.
If you're looking for us through social media, you can find us at Fearcraft Beer on
Facebook.
Twitter, Instagram.
Oh, right.
If you're looking for
It's
us,
actually behind us.
yes,
Look at that.
it is right behind us.
Wow. Who knew?
But nobody who's listening to this can
Well,
see that.
no one's- yeah.
If you are looking for us on the old Space Facebook, whatever you want to call it, we are Fear of a Craft Beer Planet. You can find us. And if you're interested to get onto the forum and get on our website,
Which none of us have done.
which I've been waiting for the other individuals that are
You
sitting
haven't done
around
shit
me.
either.
Well, because I'm running everything
Oh,
else.
Very busy.
But wait, Richard hasn't even signed up yet. It's only been live for about 5 months.
True story.
If you're looking for us, you can find us at
I can make this happen.
fearcraftbeer.com.
Do it next door in 1 second.
And you can go on there. You can find out things that are going on. We actually have a forum set up where we're trying to get everybody involved.
I'm going to get back involved. I'm going to start writing again.
All right.
I've had a rough go of things.
All right.
Life has given me lemons, and
And
I'm going to do
You're going
something
to get
with
ready
it.
to turn them into
I'm
lemonade?
going to, well,
I
maybe that's how the cliche goes.
love it.
We'll see.
And I love the fact that you're going to get involved.
I'm going to make a bee's knees with it.
I am going to now say
Oh, boy.
on, what's today's date?
No idea. 26 maybe
26, I think.
of January. For
January
fuck's sake.
26, 2019.
How am I
This
still-
episode number 100
My
will be
dog's
the
not
proof.
alive. I know.
Will
100,
be
100,
the
100.
proof that one J Rose says that he is going to start writing on the forum
Yeah.
and getting involved.
I will do it.
And I will love
I'll do it.
if he does it.
I do need to start writing again. Writing
That's
is
all
my
I got.
strong suit. I'm gonna keep that.
That's
going.
all I got. I love you all. I love you.
No, maybe.
And I'll talk to you later.
What do you got, Richard? Anything over there?
I don't know any shout outs you want to give to anybody who loves? Hi.
Don't you have we have a lukewarm line?
We have a
that no one gives
lukewarm
fuck
line.
about. Oh,
267-250-8293. Again, the lukewarm line is 267-250-8293. I'll answer your calls and your texts.
you won't answer, but they can
I
leave a
probably won't
message. And text messages work. We did
Voicemails are great. We can actually
Play
save them and play them.
So
if
speaking
ever
of
you leave
that-
them. So
Speaking of that, and of course, in 2019, we still haven't figured out how to end a podcast,
Yes.
but because
Right.
I just start remembering shit.
I know where you're going, and I feel like there's one last thing that we have to say.
I put a message out onto our group thread for the Osiris Podcast Network, and said before all of the shit broke out in my life, I told them we're going to do a 100th episode, and hey, if you want to send us some audio saying "fuck off," congratulations, or whatever, and mention who you are, where you're from, what your show is, how to find it, we'll play it on our shit. So I did actually get a few of those
You did.
submissions.
Wow.
And they are in the email, or in
We'll add
not that people can hear publicly, but in our show email, if you go in there, they're actually in there. There's like
Yes.
3 or 4 of them at this
All right,
point.
so hold on. We're going to put them right here.
No, we're not.
No, we're
It's
not.
not going to happen.
It's going to happen at
But-
the end.
But we can put them in. We can drop them in spots. We have them now that we can just kind of use them. And
All right.
everybody gave me the dude. Do what you want. Have at it. Go for it. So we have
Nice.
we have a few at this point. We have the possibility to get a few more. And so I will send you those, and you can weave those into the situation.
One last thing I was going to say, JR. One thing that we did not do today, and I
Many
think
things
I
we
think
didn't
it's very important because of where we are right now, sitting.
Oh my god,
We did not say.
we did.
No, we didn't. Go ahead.
I'm listening to Richard Forage for Jesus.
You are listening to Fear of a Craft Beer Planet podcast,
That's us.
sponsored.
I said that a few times.
No, you did not.
Right at the top of the show, I
You
said it.
did not say that we were sponsored
I didn't say it.
by Tonewood Brewing.
I did.
Thank you, Tonewood Brewing, for everything that you've done for us with sponsoring for 2018.
Yes, we appreciate you.
And we appreciate you.
We're
And
brothers.
thank you for letting
Our
us
brothers in arms.
Be
Yes.
back here today doing what we're doing and
In the-
causing
in
a
the-
goddamn fucking disaster.
In the glassware storage room,
Yes.
the newly unearthed. Every time I come back here, there's another room that's like, oh shit.
I feel like we should just leave that banner on the wall.
no, you totally leave it. Just means we're gonna have to take it down and pick it up and put it again.
Yeah, we can leave it
Just
there.
leave it right there.
Next time we do anything back here, I'll throw a tapestry behind it.
But I think it's very important that we say thank you to Tonewood
Yes,
of course.
for being a sponsor and then also letting us
Oakland,
be a
New
bunch
Jersey.
of assholes back here.
And
Is there a website for you all, or
there's a
you
God,
put
what's
your
wrong with
website
them, Ryan?
together? What you got? Ryan Egan from Tonewood Brewing. Go ahead.
hey, we're from Tonewood.
You do your dance.
Tonewoodbrewing.com.
Yeah. Oh, there's a website. There's an Instagram.
Sure.
How do I find you on Instagram?
At Tonewood Brewing.
Okay. And you're not on Twitter, and people have, there are people talking about you on Twitter, and you dummies are not on Twitter because
No, on Twitter.
you're not on Twitter. But there are people that are trying to tag you that are like higher profile than us, talking about Tonewood on Twitter, and they're
Come-
like, I
come-
can't tag them. I don't know where they're
come-
at. And I just
Come join us straight over on the Face Space and also on Instagram.
so
But
one,
what-
so
what
one of the
could be
dudes,
weird?
one of the dudes is and Rob Forzik, you may know, one of the dudes that was screaming about Tonewood on Twitter very recently that I stumbled across by accident. I was like, oh shit, is a dude named, and I bet we could get him, a dude named Jamie Lynch, who is the producer of the morning show on the on 97.5 The Fanatic, the Philadelphia sports talk channel, and he's one of the producers on the morning show, and he is a massive fan of Tonewood. He has mentioned it a few times and tried to tag you
That
guys,
sounds
and
like
it didn't exist.
we are
You're
looking,
not sports people.
we
but-
are as a podcast, we are actively looking for additional sponsors. 'Cause
Yes, we are.
We have some
Sure.
some big plans that
We've-
we would like to be
we have
able
plans.
to.
Me and Ryan Egan do.
We have some hopes. we have some hopes and dreams.
Somebody's got plans, Richard, ain't us.
Listen, if you're listening and you want to be part of the fun, we will welcome you.
We would.
We really would. And
Sincerely.
there's a couple of people that we have some phone calls that we're gonna make.
Right. Yeah, we do
Coming
actually
soon.
have some ideas. We have
Yeah.
some ideas. And there's some things floating around on the network too. This is us again trying to end a podcast that we tried to end 40 minutes ago.
You did it, then.
So
Richard, make
Yo.
it snappy.
you have a snappy close for us to end 2019. Very technically 100. I see you playing with the reverb over there.
No, I don't have to. I mean, I can.
I don't. There's no reason for that. But
Yeah.
I mean, here we are. 100th, very technically.
Yay, 100.
All right. Yeah, that's how I feel too.
That was a very Jim Gaffigan way to
God,
There are
I feel that
people-
way
there
myself,
are people
Richard.
there are-
Good call.
there are
Good call on your part.
Yeah. I know some people aren't happy that they weren't involved, but it's just very literally, and I'm going to say this because I don't want to.
Are you going to say this?
We figured this
Yeah,
out
but
last night.
Real quick, how about our buddies having a little event down in Atlantic City? We didn't get to hook up with them, but from the Amigos podcast.
Oh yeah.
Mike Manoia.
We didn't get to, but he's doing his. Where is he tonight? He's at the Comedy Store. No. Who remembers?
I was not privy to that information. It
Well,
was all
on
through
Facebook,
JR.
you'll find him on Facebook. He's really funny. You heard him a few episodes ago.
Well,
He's
the
got
thing
the
is, we're
podcast.
recording this now, so when it comes out, he's going to be long out.
Look,
of
no one's
Atlantic City.
watching. They could be
Yeah,
in the
one
Atlantic
person
City
I
watching.
area.
can see there's one person. I can count it with my thumb on my right hand. I see.
Tell
it.
your
And they could be in Atlantic County. You know?
Tell your
brother.
friends. Tell everyone.
Very large stuff.
For the mountain tops.
Lucky
It
you.
was a very large thumb.
No,
Thumb Eagles, big shoes.
No, I guess. Yes. Okay. So we're going to end the episode. This has all been wonderful.
And now we're on our way.
We are on our way. Richard, thank you. Ryan Egan, thank you. Tonewood Brewing, thank you for the hospitality. This is a ridiculous little room back here.
Thank you, Cheez-Its.
And I think that this room, thank you, Cheez-Its. I think this room will evolve to more weirdness over time.
Or to hold more glassware.
It's been fun for everyone that's been popping in over here at the door that no one can see. It's been a high time. We've all had a good time. Uh-oh.
I think that's the one person that's watching.
Oh, shit. That is one person. Hey, man. Hey, Mark. My buddy. I just said there's one person watching. I said it was my brother. I'm going to text my buddy Mark. It's Dave.
As soon as I looked down, I was like, I think that's the one person that's watching.
Oh, we're the worst. All right, we're
All
going to end this podcast. Thank you for listening. We're not. Richard, fuck off. Ryan Egan, thank you. Rob Forzik, safe travels. We'll see you.
It's
all
always a
next time.
pleasure to see you,
It's
fella.
always something. Oh, hashtag always a pleasure. All right, I guess we're right.
Very busy.
All right.
Peace.
And pause.
Oh, that was fun.
Let me kill it. In the
Be careful with that. Okay, you did it right.